This episode of the podcast is brought to you by HRH Combat Arms. They can turn your vision into reality. They specialize in gunsmithing and Cerakoting. Your Cerakote specialist is Air Force veteran and retired police sergeant Paul Ware, a.k.a. the Sarge. He can Cerakote your firearms, auto parts, tools, even your sports equipment. And then your master gunsmith is Marine veteran Steve Miller. This veteran-owned business is located at 5025 Saunders Suite, 103, Fort Worth, Texas, 76119. You can call them at 682-304-0363, and you can find them online at www.hrhcombatarms.com. That's www.hrhcombatarms.com. Oh my God. Every time I hear it.
Silky smooth.
Man. I know. He's like...
you can spread that on toast.
It's like...
it's butter.
It's already starting. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Eric Levine. This show, 2 cops, 1 donut. And I have the luxury today, folks, of having the Joey Spragins with me.
That's true. Yes.
How's it going, Joey? How's it going, bud?
I've been contemplating ever since you asked me to come here how we're going to get through this.
I know.
Without laughing for an hour and a half. I don't know how long.
Well, I don't know if you've seen how long some of these episodes go.
We could be
we just started too. It's literally his second sip. So
has Vincent listened to any of that? Have you heard from Vincent since?
I have not heard back from him. I know he knows I'm using it now, but
okay. Well, I'll reach out to him directly and be like, you got to at least listen to this one.
Yes.
Vincent Saldivar is his last name.
I always want to say Salvador, and I know it's not Salvador, so that's why I don't say it.
Yeah. Okay. Good call.
So, yeah, that's borderline racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not about that life. So
don't do that. Vincent and I grew up. Well, I mean, not really grew up together. Went to high school together and all that. But
yeah,
the dude grew up with a guitar in his hand.
Yeah,
unreal.
I know.
Yeah, the dude is.
And you got him into bicycling a little bit.
Yeah,
he's intermittent.
Well, he spent about as much time getting at it about as you did.
Yeah. Hey,
a couple months, 3 months.
Hey, I went years, mister. Anyway, so first, let me explain to those that need to know the Sprago. I went to the academy at a place we will not name; it will remain nameless. But the agency that we work for,
nobody can figure it out.
Never in a million years.
I mean, it's a tough one to
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Okay. It's just weird. I keep having people from the same area on this show.
Weird.
I know. But anyway, so Joseph here, he was in my academy class, and I don't know what it was about his personality or him, because if you were to put it on paper, I'd be like, that guy's a dick. Like, I don't like that guy. But here we are. Yeah, we're like,
I know.
You know the show Robin Big? Like, I think like pretty much could have been our lives. Yeah. You know, but
would you say I was your first BFF in Texas?
Oh, hands down. Hands down.
Suck it, Witten.
Yeah. Hands down. Witten had a pretty smile. That's what he had going for him.
Those eyes too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we called him Colgate. I mean, if you ever wanted to see the perfect smile on a man, he could be a teeth model.
I hate, I'm not going to talk trash about him because he voted for me.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well,
but I'm glad you won.
I'm glad you
won, because then you got all that, and I was like, yeah, I don't want that crap.
I'm glad you're still holding on to that. Apparently. So if you're wondering what we're talking about voting wise, they have a class president in the academy, and basically your job is just to be the voice in between the instructors and the class. Mm-hmm. And you had to run for it like an election. So me and the guys that were running for it were just like, dude, I don't care which one of us gets it, but we're all pretty good. We're all solid. So we're all friends.
We all got along. We had a great class.
Yeah, we did.
Started with 32, graduated with 16.
Yep. Man. Smallest graduating class ever. But it made us, smallest graduating class they've ever had. And it also brought us closer together. I mean, I feel like we have a pretty tight knit, since we've graduated, we've
Absolutely
been out 8 years. I still talk to almost everybody.
Yeah. Well, looking back on it now too, because I've in my position, I get a rookie every now and then.
Yeah.
Only for a week, not a whole month. Thank goodness. I don't know how some of those guys. I'm kidding. But the bigger the class, the less one-on-one you're getting.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
when it came down to it, officer survival towards the end of the academy, we're down to 16.
Yeah.
I mean, we got
a lot of
kick-ass
good
training.
Yeah, we did. I didn't think about that.
I had a blast, man.
Yeah.
I hit it up.
Yeah, it was
I loved
fun.
it. I kept reminding myself, I'm getting paid to do this shit.
Right.
Like getting paid to work out, getting paid to shoot. Man, freaking blast.
That's awesome.
I waited till I was 32 years old to do this.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Okay.
Stupid.
So let's backtrack a little bit because we're gonna get off in the weeds, and there's certain things about you that I love, like Witten's story. Like I talk about that to this day.
Yeah, you mentioned it on one.
I get a guy in my academy class. He had no earthly idea that he wanted to be a cop. Decided to join the police department because his friend was signing up. He ends up becoming an officer before his friend does, and now he worked for homicide.
He's a kick-ass officer,
and he's great.
Yeah.
He's a worker. I mean, his ego's gotten the best of him. He thinks
with that face, I mean,
yeah, I don't blame him.
It comes with it.
Yeah, the ladies melt, the guys melt, everybody melts. They see him smile, and it's over.
The suspects melt.
The suspects
probably
melt.
Why he's a good detective.
It is. He gets
look
confessions.
At his face and like, I can't lie to this guy.
Yeah,
look at those eyes.
I want to put a scientific test to this, so I made him go into the interrogation room. I said, all right, I want you to ask the guy. No, don't just ask him, did you do it? And when he says, no, I didn't do it, then I want you to smile and say, come on, did you do it? And that was my test. And sure enough, everybody confesses as soon as he smiles. Can't blame him. It's like old Blue Eyes from from the 50s, the Rat Pack and stuff. Yeah. So Joey, let's hear your story up until you became a cop, because you joined late.
Yeah,
as far as most people go. And
I actually started, and this wasn't planned by any sort of imagination, but my dad started when he was 32.
Are you serious?
He's a retired officer, and he started the academy when he was 32.
I didn't know he started that late.
Yeah.
Oh.
Both started the academy at the same age. Just happened that way.
Wow.
I keep learning stuff about my dad's past too that like I did,
right.
Or at the same age. I'm like,
there ain't some little Spragins.
Did I do anything original in my life? Like,
right?
Damn it, Dad. But yeah, I raced bicycles for a while, and that resulted me in working in bike shops, right? Mm-hmm. So I actually owned a bike shop in Irving for a little bit, Trinity Bicycles. That led to managing a bike shop in Rockwall, which is where my wife Christina and I moved. We moved to Rockwall, and we had my firstborn Lucas. It was after having Lucas that I was like, all right, do I want to keep working in a bike shop like till I retire?
Yeah,
to that age.
I bet insurance was a little harder.
Our city's insurance sucks. We all know.
Yeah,
and actually, the insurance I had back then was way better.
That's why I'm still in the military.
Good call.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Slide this toward you a little bit more. Sorry.
I won't do the test.
Yeah. I was trying to teach him earlier about where the mic needs to be and all that stuff. I do a little pre-rep repetition stuff to get people ready. So
I'm afraid of the mic, man. Just keep backing away.
Yeah, don't back away.
Was it Brandy that kept hitting it?
Yeah, Brandy kept running her face into it.
Yeah.
Well, she's built
me, right?
She's built like a Clydesdale, so it's hard to get her snout out of the way.
Just kidding.
So she just, she turns her head and then her big horse face keeps hitting it. So.
Jesus Christ. Well, I just finished listening to Matt's episode on the drive over here, and you guys were ripping about her.
Yeah.
Talking about me.
Yeah.
Just like, you guys are dicks.
It's so true, though.
Like the most selfless person out there.
I know. She's got so many life-saving words people don't even know because she doesn't talk about it.
Well, that's why you can say those kind of jokes, because it's so obviously bullshit.
Yeah. If anybody that even remotely knows Brandy, she's she's a human being that everybody should try to emulate in some fashion. And that's the type of people I'm trying to have on the show. You know, just try.
Why'd you have me on here?
Well, you
kind of went off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, you got your. You got to have your friends. You got to give your friends a spot, otherwise they're gonna get mad and not talk to you anymore. So anyway, you're having your first kid.
Yeah, Lucas comes along, and my dad now, and keep doing this.
Yeah.
Anyways, that time also my brother-in-law Alex Viola, my wife's brother.
Yes,
he was in the military, and that dude was just single-minded. Special Forces all the way.
Right. Green Beret, correct?
That's what he ended up being, yes.
Yeah.
But he started out in other paths, and he went to college first. So,
yeah.
He enlists. He can be an officer if he wants. But long story short is he ends up going through he becomes a Green Beret, goes enlisted, bypasses the sweet officer gig route.
Yeah.
So he can fast track Special Forces. Right?
Yeah.
So he's on that path when I'm working at Rockwall and always hearing about his training and that kind of shit. And it's all badass and stuff like that.
Right.
And I remember thinking even back then, I don't know, I might have even told my in-laws this, or my wife. But even back then, I really looked up to him and trying to grasp what his motivation was for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like, his parents weren't military. He had an uncle who was an Air Force pilot, but it's about as far as it went.
Right. Everybody knows that Air Force isn't real military anyway.
Air Force. I mispronounced it. But it's like, where's that motivation coming from? Anyways, he had the ability, super fit dude, right? And I think that because he had the ability and the drive that he felt that he should do it. Not that it was so much that he wanted to, but that he should, because he had that ability there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not all of us possess the ability to be freaking Navy SEAL and all that shit.
Yeah.
Green Beret, any Special Forces. But he did, and he knew that. He was a big hockey player, hockey stud at Keller High School. And so that was a driving force for me to apply.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So
Totally was.
Not so much your dad.
Well, of course, my dad.
It's a smaller factor.
Growing up, having the dad as a police officer, and especially my old man, because you've met him.
Yeah.
Chill dude. Not like he doesn't live and breathe it. He's a super chill. He was a chill police officer.
Yeah.
He did his job and he did it to the best he could. He was a motor jock for a really long time. He broke the record for tickets written in a month, like when he had his job to do, he did it 100%, right?
Yeah.
But growing up, it was never, I never remember him being like, you're going to be a cop when you grow up, or hey, you want to be a cop. None of that kind of push. Yeah. It was always just, do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Joey's getting into bikes. That's weird, but whatever. Maybe it's just a phase. but most definitely having the respectable dad up here who showed how to do it right? And at the time, he was still an officer, right? When I was working out there at Rockwall.
So he wasn't in motors yet?
No, he was in motors. He was coming to the end of his career.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was coming to the end
of both of our
career.
dads were coming to the end of their career when we jumped on.
But then, so anyways, I applied back then, and they gave me the call and started the process. Took a year to get in. But when I finally started, he had just retired. Oh. So I actually never worked
with him.
Yeah. That would have been kind of cool, but he had already set the date and everything before it was even really known that I was in. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
did he do all 5 years of the drop?
No.
Okay.
He did about 24 and a half. So because it's a point system as well as just 25 years, and you start when you're 32 years old, you'll actually reach your retirement points, 80, when you're 24 years in. Okay. A year prior.
I gotcha.
So remember Michael in our academy class, he was 40-something years old.
Yeah.
I think he was 42.
Yeah.
I think
he's like 80 now. So
yeah, he's like
Red's like 80. So He ages really fast.
I think they put in a access ramp for him.
Yeah, for sure.
unit,
I know he's got one of those fire department issued, like if you fall over, it automatically starts an alarm goes off for you. Because
I responded to his call.
Yeah. Anytime Rudd gets lost in like one of the bigger buildings, we put out a silver alert, things like that. So
Michael's on the corner again, looking up at the sky.
He's just wearing a shirt. That's all he's got. That's all he's got on.
Love that guy, man.
Poor Rudd.
Love that guy.
God, he could be like the Dr. Phil of police work. Like, I would listen to anything he tells me.
Talk about a podcast voice.
Yeah. Oh,
when
my God.
he gets on the radio.
Yeah.
Because he's seeing something on the cameras.
Everybody
right?
tunes in.
RTC, and it's just like.
It's like Casey Kasem of
I'll be driving
Real Time Crime Center.
I'll be driving around like, just keep talking.
Yeah.
Just keep talking.
Right. Just now listen to the smooth jams.
We got to talk him into like one of these days when he's trying to raise like so-and-so on West Side because he sees on the flock camera this. Like, you know, he keys up and he's like, "This is Michael Rudd. I'm listening."
Yeah. Yes. That's got to be his call sign. Yeah.
Oh,
that'd be great. Yeah. He's for Mike Rudd he's a guy from our academy class. He was the age, I pretty much think he had the age cutoff limit or pretty close to it.
Well, I think when we were then, it was 42.
Yeah.
I think
it's been bumped up to 45 because it's getting harder and harder to hire cops. So,
they're going to Luby's now for recruiting.
I think that's true.
Yeah. Is it 4 o'clock? Are they eating dinner yet?
Right.
Yeah. Let's go get some fresh recruits.
Bringing in the retarees. Hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah. But the point is like he only had to go. We did the math. I remember in class one day, he only had to go like, I think it was under 15 years to retire.
Oh.
He would reach his 80 points because it works on that age scale.
Yep.
Right?
So it benefits to be old and decrepit like Rudd. It's crazy. He made it through the academy too because he didn't come in the best shape.
Well, he was recycled to our class, wasn't he?
Oh, that's right.
He was hurt.
He got hurt.
2 classes or 3 classes before
osteoporosis hits, around that age.
Yeah, he finally started drinking more milk.
Yeah.
And he finally made it through our class, yeah. This poor guy, man.
I know. Rudd's not here to defend himself. It's the best. So now you're getting inside,
probably
folks.
Got a camera in here somewhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, for anybody. I know. So Rudd works at the Real Time Crime Center. If you listen to my episode with Dalton Webb, he explains all the Real Time Crime Center stuff. Rudd works there, and he is the eye in the sky, so to speak, that helps us find
Okay, yeah.
crimes.
So to kind of get at the root of the show, right?
Yeah.
The point of the show is to help educate those that don't know and stuff. I was listening to that one, and at the time that one came out, I was in communications with Webb about getting my neighborhood set up with the flock system.
Yeah.
And I had questions about it, right? And I was listening to the episode, listening to him talking, like, man, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad that
fantastic.
And when I had 2 prosecutors on the other day, and that episode hasn't aired yet, and it's July 9th, if anybody's listening. Those haven't aired yet, and they won't be out for a couple of weeks. I'm finally to the point where I can release episodes weekly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ahead, so that's a plus. But
putting in the work.
Yeah, man. So we were talking about, the education side of things and how it's not just civilians and people that are outside of this. I was like, cops are learning a lot of stuff too, and frontliners. Obviously, I'm a cop, and most of this stuff's based around police work, but all aspects of frontliners, I think, can benefit from learning some of the stuff that we've had on here, and it's going to expand. I'm just going through my cop phase right now because it's the easiest to bring in. Yeah. So, but yeah, like you said, having Webb here, learning about SWAT. I learned a lot from Gino on the SWAT episode.
Yes,
there's a ton of shit I didn't know. And he talked to me offline, too, about some of the stuff that he didn't want to give away any secrets and whatnot. But some of that stuff, I'm like, holy shit, I had no idea. And so for me, it's kind of the whole Joe Rogan thing. Like, I talk to people that I'm interested in because I want to learn, and I want other people to understand what I know.
Well, that's going to come across in the episode, too, when you're interested in it. Mm-hmm. You got someone in front of you that's boring you to tears.
Yeah.
It's going to come through. Right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm here to learn.
Yeah, like when I had Brandy on, like I was counting the seconds.
I bet, dude.
Like, Jesus, does she ever shut up?
Like,
she just keeps going.
Right?
Yeah, I'd rather watch paint dry.
It's like, that was like 3 hours long, man.
I know. I had to cut her off finally. I was like, shut up. Just shut up. Love you, Brandy.
So you get away with all that shit. I don't know her as well as you do. So she knows me, but
well, she's retired now, so
all right.
she can,
it's fair
she
game.
can kick rocks. Yeah,
Oh,
you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, her mom's still our boss, but so wait till she goes.
She won't mind.
Nah, she won't mind. Yeah, she's too high up on the ladder. She don't listen to the show.
Podcast?
Yeah. What's a podcast? I have a monthly briefing that comes to me. I sit on the ivory tower, yes. So, okay. So, Joey, you decide, you had some influences. You had your special forces brother-in-law, Green Beret. Then you had your father. You and I shared that. I think that's kind of what started drawing us in as friends in the academy, is that we were both trying to stay under the radar.
Yep.
And both of our fajas were police officers.
And let me just say real quick, I'm not comparing Alex being special forces to
police work.
Shit I do. Not at all. The point is that he had the ability to do something and he felt he should.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
I felt the ability to do something more when working at the bike shop.
Yeah.
And so I felt I should, especially when Lucas came along.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I got more to offer.
Yeah.
And so I had my dad over here show me how it's done the right way.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. I don't want to speak for you, but
you will.
I will, because I know better than you. And what is a driving factor for me is I genuinely want to help people. I want to help people. I want to help people. And that was, I don't know a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And that was, for me, signing up, like, yes, my dad did it. And there's this whole family dynamic where it's like, well, you know how it is. You go to a family reunion. Who's the center of attention? Whether they want it or not.
Right.
It's your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same for me, my dad.
Oh, man. Yeah. Being a kid.
Yeah, as a kid.
And listening to friends of friends or whatever. Oh, yeah, hey, I got pulled over the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. Like right away.
Is this legit? Should I have gotten into? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I just see his face and just like. Oh,
you're like, here we go. Yeah. You walking into the family reunion like, he did it.
But my dad, if I had the patience of my old man, I'd be set.
Yeah, you definitely.
I do not.
You don't. I don't understand how you fell so far from the tree on that one. Yeah.
Like I think it was on a hillside. And
I think
fell and I just rolled down the hill.
I think it was because of your sister. I'm sure she whooped your ass for most of your life. That's the feeling I get when I talk to your sister.
Mean.
Yeah.
No,
not that she's mean.
Just, growing up, she was very mean to me.
I think it was most.
I have sister issues.
It was mostly because of your sarcasm.
My sister's awesome. You know that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
best friends.
She had to put up with your sarcasm, and that's probably where the beatdowns deservedly came from.
True.
So
I can't.
She needs to get out here.
Right.
Let's get her on the show.
I think you're gonna have to go up there.
Nah, that's all hippy dippy stuff up there. She needs to come down here.
Yeah.
She's in Oregon, Washington, Oregon, right? Yeah. Look at me, my memory.
Man, you're doing good.
Right?
That's badass.
I know.
Well done, sir.
For me, that's a big deal.
That is a huge deal.
My sergeant, he'll come in the office. What's the deal, pickle? It's like the best dad joke. I use it all the time now. So when I hear the word deal, I'm like, what's the deal, pickle? Love it.
Horrible.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm sorry. We're getting going off the trail here. So, so you had these influences and you decide, got your son, got to be a role model to him. Obviously working on bikes isn't the best role model for your kid.
Not knocking it, man. When I moved out there, the guy who started the shop, Jason, he had the money. He had his buddies, investors, and all the capital to start this business. But he needed a bike guy.
You needed the talent.
He needed the guy who knew bikes.
Yeah.
And so he came to my shop that I was trying my best to run in South Irving, and I learned the hard way. I'm not a brick and mortar business owner guy. Like, ugh.
Well, you need
the brain. The offer, and
you need the brains and the brawn.
Yeah, I was like, shit, yeah, I'll take that offer. So, anyways, man, best boss I've ever had. I mean, great. It was a great gig.
Cool. I'll let your sergeant know that.
Yeah. Tony won't care. He'll be like, he said what? Joey who?
Right.
Oh, my sergeant's awesome. But no, man, I couldn't have asked for anything better. Like, they treated me great.
How many years did you, because you were part owner of the bike shop, correct?
Of Rockwall?
Yeah.
Well, I left as part owner because that was kind of part of the deal. Like, I helped open the shop with other people, obviously not just me. And if we reached certain goals, I would obtain a percent ownership.
Oh, okay.
And we did that.
Gotcha.
And so he kept, that was just basically a handshake.
Because you were
agreement.
broke as fuck. Yeah.
No.
They're like, well, obviously Joey ain't going to bring any monetary value to this.
You know what it was, though, is his attempt to get me more vested in it, to treat it as more of a career.
Oh,
right?
okay. So you just threw that right back in his face.
I just threw it right back in his face. I was like, thanks for all the offers, but screw it. No.
Yeah.
No, but it was just that feeling of wanting to do something more. I have no other way to describe it.
No, I gotcha. It's a calling, bro.
But in the board interview, for people listening that are interested in, taking the test and becoming one, or how it works and all that, you get to the certain point in the application process, you got to take that board review.
Yeah.
The most nerve-wracking part of the whole thing.
Because it's all peers, guys.
Yeah.
It's all seasoned cops.
Yep. 6 of them sitting around a table, at least it was for me, and then just you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all going to...
And a video recorder.
Yeah. And your background investigator sitting behind you with this notebook that's about this big with all your information in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to drill you with questions.
Yep.
And they ask you the typical cliche BS, like, why do you want to be a cop?
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, I can't give them the same old cliche bullshit.
Because I want to slam a motherfucker.
I want to help save the world.
Nah, I'm joking.
But no, I told them, like, in a nutshell, it comes down to it. I want to feel as a more integral part of my community.
Yeah.
And from a police officer's position, and you're on the front line to do that, because you have access to things other people don't. Yeah. Right? You have influences.
Front row tickets to the greatest show on earth.
To the freaking circus.
That's what I said.
And told him I want to set the example for my boy. Now boys, but at the time just Lucas. Yeah. And they just looked at me and paused for a second, like, all right, and then just moved on.
Nice.
Like, okay, I felt good.
Nice.
So obviously it worked. But
yeah. So you go through the process, you get hired on, and then you join the academy, and that's where you
meet your ugly mug.
Met this sexy beast. So we showered together, guys. Sorry, ladies. Cardinal knowledge of each other.
It's not the academy we have now. There's a bunch of shower heads sticking out of a wall.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Just a group room and everybody's business hanging out there for everybody to wallow in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so you go through the academy. Now, as a person that obviously didn't know you wanted to be a cop your whole life, I always knew. Yeah. So, but for you who didn't know, now you're looking at a whole new path for your life. And you see that. And at 32, your life experience, I think, makes a big difference on the path you take. Like, I think, and I'm not speaking for everybody, I'm just saying in general, a guy like you coming in, 32, hadn't ever even planned to be a cop. You don't have any military background, nothing like that. I don't think SWAT is the one that's bumping in your head like, I'm going to join, I'm going to go be SWAT. You join because you want to help people and you want to be more of a community leader. Right. So you get in, and what were you thinking? What you got to do your patrol time. Yeah. And we got to do that together, which was freaking awesome.
Good times.
God, we gave Wisdom so much shit.
God, what a good dude, man.
He is such a good dude. I can't. He's one of those guys that I can't even joke badly about like I do on Brandy. Like I mess with Brandy, because we're cool like that. But I couldn't make fun of Wisdom, even if I wanted to, because he's just that good of a dude. Yep. I mean,
fair and just a even keel guy. Talk about patience, right?
All right, guys, you've heard the rumor. I'm a Yankee, okay. The whole persona of a cowboy, like not like a young cowboy, but like that, Yellowstone, whatever type cowboy, like
Kevin Costner.
Yeah, that's Wisdom. That's him. And his advice, everything is just so chill and so relaxed and so simple. Like, you overcomplicate things, and then you go to Wisdom, and you're like, and it's funny because his last name's Wisdom, but you go to him, and it's the most simple explanation. You're like,
It's not just a clever name.
yeah.
Wayne's World.
So,
This movie quote drops.
oh, wait a second. I don't know which button it is, but I think it's this one. Oh. It is.
Oh, I thought you had a fart machine.
No,
Oh man,
that's a good idea, though. Oh my god.
every time somebody rips a good joke,
Yes, you rip
one.
a good one.
Boom.
Yes. You're breaking shit. I'm gonna use it.
Here we go, man.
I know.
It begins.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a fart thing on here. How have I never thought of that? I'm so disappointed in myself.
Do you know Teslas have like a fart?
Yes, a fart app,
Yeah.
and you can fart at any seat. Oh yeah, trust me.
Oh, it farts in any. Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it'll.
Does it warm it up too?
Oh, that'd be perfect. Hey, I know for a fact Elon Musk listens to my podcast.
Yep.
So Elon, if you're listening, you need to do fart beta test 2.0 on your Teslas.
Because if it was heated, it would convince that passenger
That they farted.
really did
Yeah.
it, and they didn't know.
Yeah,
They're like,
exactly.
Oh, again?
Dang it. What do they call it? Hypnotics? Hit the
Yeah.
You know the thing that vibrates like in a controller?
Yes.
They got to add that too. Yeah. So when you're sitting sitting in your chair and all of a sudden
Possibilities are endless.
I know. Oh my god. Okay, guys. So I need anybody out there. You never know who's listening. So
What's this podcast about?
yeah,
This one?
Yeah, this one's about education.
Reaching the community.
Yeah,
right?
reaching the
Like,
community.
This is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, folks. If you're not out there, if you think my humor's improved since I turned 12, it hasn't. So
Okay, I'm gonna circle this to police work.
okay,
You ready for this shit?
I'm ready.
All right, buckle up.
Blow my mind, sir.
What's the thing as of late, right? Or boom,
Yep.
de-escalation.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
de-escalation.
Yeah, that's the
What
hip new phrase.
de-escalates? What de-escalates anything every time? 100%.
Humor.
30% of the time it works every time. Anchorman.
Yeah. Sex Panther.
If you got like some AP arrested persons in the back of your
I like
car,
that you looked at the camera. It's
But-
natural, folks.
in the back of your car, and,
Yeah.
and he or she's just going ape shit.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to pepper spray because nobody wins with that shit.
Right. And you don't want to pepper spray inside your own car.
And you have the ability of a fart app in the back seat, and it just starts ripping.
Oh my
I
God.
don't care what that person's on. They're gonna be like,
It's going to stop them in their tracks.
"The fuck? Where did that come from?"
Yeah.
Right?
Chiefs out there.
Everybody laughs with a fart.
Chief jokes. Yeah. I've said if somebody gets hit in the nuts, that's not me, or somebody farts, I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Every time.
I'll never forget my wife saying one time years ago, she's gonna hate me for this.
Good.
Why are farts so funny?
She said it?
Yeah. I was like, I don't know.
Oh man. Like my daughters, 9 and 11 years old. And the best thing I ever did was instilled my fart humor with them because it's a strategy. One, it's going to repel the boys. All right. I don't need,
It's boy repellent.
it's a boy
Nice.
repellent. I don't need none of that, in jujitsu too. So I got them into that. So, but,
Hey, it works in that too, right?
yes. Yeah, it does.
Distraction area. Oh,
And-
all of a sudden rear naked choke because you were gagging on some methane.
Yep. Yeah. I've never used a soundboard so much. I think I've used it like one other time ever on
I
this
haven't
show.
heard it yet.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
on the soundboard, I've got my,
Right.
I've got that, and then my end song,
Yep.
and
We ain't done yet.
no,
This episode of the podcast.
I've got my commercial.
Yeah.
And then it's great because everybody's gonna get to see this. And then these are the randoms that I don't know what they are. So I've got that one. That was a
Okay.
pre-recorded thing that's already,
Okay.
and I have that. I should have played that when I introduced your name.
Hell yeah.
That would have been perfect.
Oh.
Or the unicorn Clydesdale known as Brandy.
Mm.
And then that's it. That's the last one. Well, I got that one too. So Oh, the bird one
I
just keeps
saw
going.
I saw the picture someone posted of that Clydesdale with the unicorn.
Yeah, that was
on
me.
Facebook.
Yeah, that was me.
I was about to make a joke on there because that looked like something else coming out of the forehead of that horse, but I was like,
Did it?
I'm gonna leave that alone.
I didn't notice. I just
Wasn't it pink?
Yeah. Oh. I'm losing my touch.
Kids.
I'm losing my touch,
Yeah, you
man.
are.
What's the deal? I haven't worked with you enough.
Gotta keep each other in check.
Yeah. Keeps the humor around. Before we keep going, you know, I want to keep educating people on our nonsense.
That was bad.
Did you bring me a present, sir?
Yeah, man.
Because I normally wear a hat, so.
Yeah, so this is the Alex Viola Foundation hat.
Viola.
Viola. That's my wife's maiden name.
Like the instrument? I think a viola is what it's called, but.
Well, that is what it's called, not viola. No, anyways, Alex Viola. Shut up.
Okay, so this is Staff Sergeant Alex Viola Foundation.
You've been to the car show, right?
I've been to the car show.
Yeah. So the car show coming up on November 7th. I had double checked that date just to make sure I was right.
November 7th.
Thank you, father-in-law Frank.
Where is that located?
Keller Town Hall.
Keller Town Hall.
What? Keller.
Keller. Oh, I'm sorry.
Keller, which is where Alex is from.
You hear that?
Is that the vacuum?
Oh, that's my mother-in-law making her daily smoothie.
I'll take one.
She makes like a power smoothie for herself every day. So
That's badass. All right. So a little backstory there. So Alex made it, right? Green Beret. Oh man, that looks good. Nice.
yeah,
Well, that fits you better than me. That's why I brought it, because it didn't fit me well.
Yeah,
I was
well,
like,
I'm a
I'll
hat.
give him my reject.
I'm a hat guy, so
Yeah. That looks good.
I always look good.
That's
But
true.
in a hat, I look
That's
even
true.
better because it covers up my face a little bit.
Shades over this part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you can't see the big ass
So it
eyebrows.
looks way better.
Yeah, as the least amount as you can see of my face, the better I look.
Do your eyebrows being that big like help gutter the sweat away from your
Oh,
eyes?
for sure. They
Probably
like
never have that problem, do you?
when I box people, I don't even need a cut, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I just
Cut
filters.
me. I'm
yeah,
going back out.
yeah, I don't need to. It's like a dam breaks away.
You
Sweat.
got it made, dude.
I do. I don't even need a sweatband.
It's unreal.
It's genetics. Thank you, Father.
So all these companies making these little sweatband things, gimmicky things that go over your sunglasses and shit. All they really need to produce are Eric's eyebrows.
Yes. Yeah, like you know how
Put
they
Eric's eyebrows on.
you know how they have the comical sunglasses or
Yes.
not sunglasses but with the big nose
Marx
and
Brothers stuff.
yeah, so they got those Marx
Get that
Brothers.
right? I don't know.
I thought it was more of the
Somebody's shaking their head.
hair, Shane. No.
I got a monkey on a grinder. Shane.
Yeah. I think it was like a Charlie Chaplin thing. I don't know.
Probably. I think I'm right. You're wrong.
Yeah, it's typically the case.
You're stupid.
That's why I can't believe you didn't get voted president.
You're a dummy.
I am. Can you believe I figured this out? I mean, honestly,
That you're
can you
a dummy?
believe that I figured
Oh no,
this?
I can't believe that. I think someone came in here and did all this shit. You didn't do this.
I know. Kind of. I'll give Chris Hatchett a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Because we did a lot of FaceTime stuff where I'm like, I don't understand this. So, because I was so fucking lost in
I
the
would have
sauce,
been too,
dude.
man. This is all foreign to me.
Yeah, I fucked up.
I'm like, where's the bike?
much. Yeah. It's on the shed.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It's all rusting away.
It is not rusted away. As a matter of fact, I'm about to get that beast back out.
I'm sure, yeah. I hear that shit all the time.
No, you know I'm for real. You know I don't joke.
But
No,
anyways,
I'm a phase guy. I go phases. It's just how I am. I'm
is this a phase?
this. We'll see.
It's got 2 more weeks. This
We'll
is gonna be
see.
your last one. This one's gonna ruin.
This
me.
is the one that's gonna ruin
Yeah.
me. Yeah, they're gonna be like,
No
"Why?"
downloads.
Yeah,
People start
Joey who?
unfollowing.
Yeah.
Like, this was
Why'd you bring this
total
hippie,
shit.
hypey bike guy on there? I couldn't even say it.
Hypey bike.
Hoppy,
Good
hippie,
God.
hippie.
Mhm.
Anyway,
You
yeah.
probably call it pop too, don't you?
Okay. It just brings it back every time.
Let's explain the hat.
Okay, yes, let's get into the hat. All right.
son of a
First,
bitch.
this is a bill, and it blocks the sun. And then it's a trucker style hat. So
Check it out. That's my father-in-law calling me right now.
really,
That's the car show man himself.
Italian-
Sorry, Frank. I'm gonna have to call you back, buddy.
that Italian stallion.
Oh man, talking about the most intimidating looking big
Father.
Italian son of a bitch you ever meet. Like when I first started dating Christina and I met Frank for the first time, I'm like, oh crap.
Did you come over for like spaghetti dinner?
Yeah.
And
And meatballs and
Yeah.
yeah.
like grandma was slaving away in the kitchen making sauce.
pretty much.
The only reason I say that is because my other side of the family is all Italian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dad's side's all Italian.
Yeah, so that side, my wife's side, New York, Italians.
Yep.
Like Frank's parents are from Italy. Like
Yep.
they moved to, immigrated to Canada, which is where Frank was born. Anyways, nicest dude in the world. Like,
Nice.
I mean, just
Yeah.
nicest dude ever. But they started this car show in Alex's honor. He was killed in Kandahar on his first deployment as a Green Beret, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you and I were rolling together on mids. And Wisdom was our sergeant.
Yep.
Best sergeant to have at that time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
His brother was killed in the line of duty by a drunk driver
Yep.
a while back. But just talking about how chill Wisdom is, and talk about a voice of reason, just like, expect this, don't expect this. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we would talk for hours sometimes on my beat
Mm-hmm.
and just chilling, talking, and it was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the best thing.
Yeah. Especially because, I mean, I'm a big proponent of every loss is unique.
Mm-hmm.
So when people say, "Oh, I know what you're going through," no, you don't.
Nope.
You don't. You never will.
You never say that to anybody.
Yeah. Don't say that to people.
Don't ever say you understand.
Yep. Just say,
None of that
"Look,
shit.
I-
Or you'll get past this."
Yeah."
That kind of crap. Like,
So I tell people, I don't know what you're going through, but if you need something, I'm here.
Yep.
And that's about as simple as I can keep it. And that's advice for any officers, young officers out there. Don't ever tell somebody that's grieving, whether it's an assault and nobody died or somebody who's passed away on the scene or whatever it is. Don't tell the people what they're going through, because you don't. You never will. And it's only going to get you in trouble.
That's a good thing to bring up, man, because we were talking about life experience and all that. Me starting when I was 32 and shit, I counted it up. Well, I had to for the background packet. I think I had 24 or 25 jobs before joining the department.
What?
Like, I worked everywhere, man. Home Depot, Lowe's. I worked at the airport because of bike racing.
Yeah.
Right? As soon as the work schedule got in the way of my training,
Yeah.
I'd find another job. And delivering pizzas was the job I had the longest because it flexed around what I needed.
Did you ever deliver to a Ninja Turtle?
Yes.
I figured.
All the time. But man, it's so smelly down there, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta lift the manhole cover, get down there. It's just weird. It's just awkward.
So every time I pour a glass of my Garrett Hall memorial bottle, I give him a little shout out to
Hell
you,
yeah.
to you, Hall. For those that don't know, Hall died in the line of duty. He took out the bad guy that was trying to take that. Inevitably took him out as well. But
I just saw JWoww in passing the sector
that's so funny
yesterday.
because
Yeah.
JWoww, he didn't know it, but his partner that was with him that day, talked to Zentino, which, by the way, Zentino's not here. He had no idea.
He's not here. I'm here.
Yeah.
I am the second cop.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
where the hell the donut is.
sorry, Zentino. I didn't even tell him about this podcast because I knew he'd just be a third wheel in the way on that one. I feel bad. I haven't, like, several of them. I knew I was recording while he would be at work, and it's just the way that it worked out. And
I don't even know the dude. Like, I don't think I've ever met him.
Yeah,
But I feel like a homewrecker right now.
you kind of are.
Yeah.
You hussy.
Damn.
Yeah, he's great. I love Zentino. Dude. His TikToks crack me up.
Yeah.
He's got so many more followers than the show has.
I know how you're talking like with Brandy and stuff about having to learn Instagram and all that shit. I'm right there with you, buddy.
Dude, I'm so bad.
TikTok's one thing I have not.
Dude.
It's not on my phone.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that shit
I
is.
just got it. The
Yeah.
Chinese know everything about me now, and
Yep, they're in now.
yeah, they're
listening
in.
right now.
But I had so many people. I call them Two Cops One Donut members. I don't know really what to call them. So I had some members reach out and they're like, "Are you on TikTok? I couldn't find you." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Do I need to be?" And they're well, yeah, everybody's on TikTok.
Duh.
How are you gonna go viral? And I was like, the way this show works.
How are you going to reach the sophomores in high school?
Yeah, I don't know how this show would ever be a viral thing unless I just have some sort of hilarious moment, I guess. Because usually the viral things are funny.
Here's what I'm thinking. This show is really going to reach those that want to be an officer.
Yep.
Those that are already in an academy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you talk about all kinds of gold, man. that I would have wanted to know when I was in the academy.
Yeah.
I'd be listening to this shit religiously if I was in the academy right now.
Yeah.
Because you're educating, you're filling in a lot of gaps there.
Yeah.
A lot of questions you're afraid to ask when you're a recruit, or they're just not going to answer anyways.
Yeah.
Because they want to be a dick or whatever.
Yeah.
But
assholes.
But yeah. So anyways, for Alex, after he
That's good.
after he passed away, they started the car show because him and his old man Frank were into cars. Obviously,
Yeah.
you've seen Frank's cars.
Yeah.
Old man.
I don't.
So
I need that guy's salary.
going to car shows and winning them all the time were Frank and Alex's thing, right?
Yeah.
So Alex had a Chevelle. Frank's got a Chevelle.
Which is, and I'm, you know me and religion and all that stuff, but man, it's so weird because that is my dream car, is a Chevelle.
Yeah.
And here again is one of those, it's one of those karma things. It's like, it's another connection that you and I have that it's a random one. And it's kind of, it's not like a, obviously.
It's indirect.
Yeah, it's an indirect one.
Yeah. But like Frank's Chevelle, he always has it out there at the show. It's a 69, I believe. I don't remember what year Alex's was. I think it was a 68.
What was it?
Yeah,
What's
you
Frank's?
know.
What's Frank's?
Frank's was a 69.
69.
Another Billy Madison quote.
Right?
Right on.
And
if we turn to page 69, 69.
Lots of movie quotes, guys.
But
if you want to be
before we get too far in the fucking weeds again, I want to say this car show, November 7th this year, Keller Town Center. Can't miss it.
Yes.
Freaking huge. Didn't have it last year because of the fucking COVID, but this year, everybody, it's all in.
Okay.
So 2 years ago when we had over 250 cars. It's huge.
Nice.
And
now there's going to be pent up energy, so there should be double that.
yeah, and all 100% of proceeds raised go to two charities that Alex put in his living will that he wanted to donate to.
Okay.
Right? So
what were those?
the Green Beret Foundation, the Special Operations. I always screw this one up.
Worthless.
Yeah, piece of shit right here.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you know where they can find it?
yeah.
Okay. Well, that'll help.
Where can they find it?
Oh, shit. You don't
I'm
even
going
know.
to test you.
I don't know.
All right. So just search out to Staff Sergeant SSG Alex Viola Foundation. Okay.
That's going to get you. Viola.
Yeah. You can find everything you want.
Okay.
Frank is very active on Facebook, sharing all the sponsors and stuff of the show.
Yeah.
Like they even bring out a pinstriper. They do live pinstriping.
Oh, that's right.
On
Yeah.
cars.
Yeah.
And, the live auction is the real
Yeah.
kind of treat of the show. You got all this amazing stuff there that they're live auctioning off that people have made.
Yeah.
Super valuable things, right?
Yeah. Shit, I didn't even think about it. I need to get, because I it's only been maybe almost 80 days since I started, and I've been very particular of what organizations the Two Cops One Donut page follows and shares. The 10-7 Outdoors, I think it's called. That's one. Sergeant Paul's HRH stuff. So there's not a whole lot on there that I follow and share, but obviously I need to get Alex's page on there, and I totally didn't even think about it. So my bad. But we'll get it done, and we'll make sure it's done right. So
the really unique part of the show is it goes to it's a charitable cause for these two foundations. You got other car shows out there to raise money for charities too. Here's the really kick-ass part of this show. You got Alex's teammates, some that are still active, some that aren't, that come in every year for the show, and they're the judges.
Oh, no
shit. So they go around and pick their best in show.
Okay.
And so you'll have multiple, best in shows for that individual.
Yeah.
And then they present the award at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's badass.
So, folks, if you ever sitting there and you're like, well, I didn't know, Sergeant Viola. I didn't know Viola. I didn't know him. But if you want to figure out what his character's like, just all you got to do is look at his team. His team follows him. His team supports the family. They do all this stuff. They don't do that for a person that lacks integrity, a person that lacks any sort of undesirable
I'm
characteristics.
not just looking at my phone here. I'm bringing up a picture.
No, that's fine. That's fine. And I had the honor of attending the funeral, and I can tell you the impact that this person had.
Remember that?
Yeah, that this person had during all that. It wasn't, people from the community, the local community. It wasn't people from the family. It was people from the state, the nation, the military. It is the most honor I've ever seen given to a funeral. It personally, I know there's probably a lot that are like that, but this personally, the one that I've seen myself, I was in tears from the support. Mm-hmm. You had people on the side of the road standing, young kids saluting as we drove by, just everywhere. And so it's an that attests to his character and who he was and what he represented and all that stuff. So, and what year was that? 2013? Yeah, so we're talking 2013, and we still have the same type of support and stuff going out towards the foundation. So
yep.
It's a pretty big deal. But Joey brought up a picture. Oh, shit.
Find it.
I don't want to see any of your dirty pics. Yeah. So, that's great. So what I'm looking at is it's a picture of us at our department, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of us all went over to Joey's house, and we brought just everything that food and
just, it was a show of support.
Yeah, it was a show of support,
and it was awesome.
And that's the I don't want to show our department, so
yeah,
but
and it was for Christina.
Yeah,
my wife.
No, it was for you too, man.
Her brother.
And it's one of those things that you hear about the thin blue line, and I don't for 1 second want to say that the thin blue line is a us versus them. The thin blue line is a us with us. To me, that's what the thin blue line is. It's in moments of need, we stepping up for each other, no different than a military unit stepping up for their family. And we're in a life or death career field. Not many people can say that. We're in a life or death career field. And that is where the draw comes. So the thin blue line, I understand there's the stigma of the us versus them. In my mind, and I'm not going to speak for all cops, I can't say that for sure, but the way I like to look at the thin blue line is it's us for us. It's us supporting each other in a career field that we know is dangerous. And at any second, Joey and I could have this podcast, and next week he could go to work, and this could be the last time I got to hang out with him. So, I mean, thank God if it is the last time, because Jesus, I'm so sick of seeing his face. But that's just yeah.
I can't help it.
Yeah. You ready for a refill there, sir?
Yes, sir. I need more ice.
All right, let me stand by and listen to the smooth sounds of TX whiskey. Is it?
So you need a Vincent guitar riff for a whiskey. Good Lord. Whiskey pour.
Oh, Vincent, sir, I need a whiskey pouring soundbite, sir. Garrett Hall, salute.
I was lucky enough to get one of those. I tried.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got 2 bottles. So when this officer died in the line of duty, TX Whiskey made an commemorative bottle,
right.
and barrel. I don't know if it's a unique blend by any means, but what I do now is if I only drink, my rule with that bottle is I only drink it with other officers. Mm-hmm. And if it runs out, I'll just refill the same bottle with that whiskey. Yep. But TX Whiskey made that for Garrett, and Garrett passed away in the line of duty, and it was 3 very violent robbery suspects, and he got in a gunfight with one of those, and unfortunately they took each other out, but Garrett went out with his boots on. He's definitely in Valhalla, and much respect to Garrett, and anytime we drink out of this bottle, I like to bring that up. So gone but never forgotten. So I didn't know Garrett personally as far as like we were buddy, but we seen each other at the academy. We'd say hi, stuff like that. So, but just like Alex, everybody I know that knows him never had anything bad to say about him. So I like that. I like when people's reputation just keeps driving other people.
Well, yeah, you talked about the outpouring of support at the funeral for Alex, and he grew up in Keller. They moved down to New York when he was a kiddo, about the same age I was.
Really?
Yeah, when we moved down here from.
So Christina
Oregon.
Lived in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Long Island. So they moved down here for Frank's job, and moved into the house that they're still in, Frank and Peggy. And so he grew up, going to all the Keller schools.
Yeah.
Keller High School, captain of his hockey team. The guy was a stud.
He played hockey?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Huge hockey guy.
My man.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's why you like me.
But when the news came out that a soldier had lost their lives overseas and he was from Keller, Keller lit up. I mean,
yeah.
The funeral, we had the service at St. Elizabeth's, and then it's a pretty good trek to the cemetery.
Yeah.
The whole fucking way is lined of people.
Yeah. Flags, everything.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Like insane.
Yep.
Kids holding the flag.
Yeah.
Something else.
I'll never forget, I wasn't a family friend by any means or anything like that. I was just going for you and your wife. And so me and my wife, we stayed in the back and whatnot. But you and I saw each other as you're going out. And it was, as much as I hate your face, it was a good moment. It was a good moment for us.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget that. But it was impactful. You know what I mean? And it's a good, for a soldier, as a chair forceman, it's one of those things you realize there's always a potential that you could go down. And if I even got a tenth of what he got, worth it, worth it. So it's great that people support those that do something that they themselves can't see themselves doing. I think everybody's capable.
Well, in my in-laws, I always hear other people complain about their in-laws, right?
Yeah.
I always think, man, I'm one lucky bastard. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I married into one hell of a family.
Yeah.
And my in-laws are pretty kick-ass, and they run this fucking show, man. Like it's a year-round effort.
Really?
Setting it up, preparing for this one day. Like it's a massive amount of work.
I bet.
Their upstairs is nothing but tubs of stuff, like the shirts and stuff getting ready for the next one, and so much preparation going on.
I might need to get a hold of them because people keep asking me for 2 Cops One Donut shirts.
Oh, there you
I'm
go.
like, I don't even know how to design. So
I got your shirt guy.
Okay.
He's Fort Worth.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
He's an old riding buddy of mine. So
Nice.
local business, yada yada yada.
Okay.
I got your guy.
My stepmom actually made me a shirt, and I
Okay.
posted it on Instagram, and that's what kicked it off. I was
Really?
like, oh my God, I want one.
Well, I was walking up and I was like, it'd be neat is to have shirts or whatever, a hat, something to give each guest.
Oh, yeah.
So when you see a person walking around with it, be like, hey, you were on a...
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a
That's
good
unique.
call.
That's unique for just the guest.
Which you couldn't
What
see.
I'm really asking for is to give me something.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I'm here. I drove all... It took me 30 minutes to get down
giving
here,
you
dude.
whiskey, bro. Come on. And you get to be in my presence.
I can get whiskey.
And I'm giving you those.
Boom.
So, so on the back of that shirt is a QR code.
Is that what's on the back of your truck?
Yes.
Saw that.
She made that. She made that.
Okay.
Dude, if you knew how much. So if you screw up, if any of you seen a QR code, there's all these little squares. Like, she cut that by hand and it works. Like, you scan and it works.
She cut that shit by hand.
Yes.
That's like 6x6.
Yeah.
Huge
So on the
sticker.
back of my truck, I'm not a big bumper sticker guy or anything like that, but she goes, I'll make you a QR code for your truck. And then anybody that sees your vehicle will just be curious, like, well, what's that QR code for? And it's the platform for all of my stuff. Nice. And she made that, and she's like, let's go see if it works. So, I mean, we're talking 9 o'clock at night. And, I'd stop by my dad's house, and she's like, all right, let's go put it on. And I start going to put it on. She goes, no, I'll do it. Like, she didn't trust me to do it at all. So she puts it on there, and then I get my phone out, and I'm like, holy shit, it works. It's perfect. And she's like, I read online how, like, she's awesome. She's one of those people that, like, anything she does, she's a freaking master at it. Yeah. Like, when I first moved here, y'all introduced me to Chick-fil-A. So,
y'all,
yeah,
man, you're using
you like it? Yeah.
It just rolls right off your tongue.
Yeah, I know. It's like real.
You used to try to say it in the academy, and it was like listening to like
an idiot.
Yeah, man, it's horrible.
Definitely a Yankee trying to blend in.
Yeah.
You all. I
don't understand.
So y'all got me going, and I told her, I'm like, oh my God, I'm addicted to this Chick-fil-A sauce. I use it on everything.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And she figured out how to make it.
Seriously?
Yeah. So one day we come over for like a big family dinner thing, and she's like, I made this Chick-fil-A sauce for you. I was like, you made it? I was like, it ain't going to taste like Chick-fil-A sauce. And sure as shit, it's the same thing, just in mass produced.
Okay, so what is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on, man.
I don't know what's in it. I don't know what's in it. She figured it out, though.
The secret sauce recipe has a potential to come out on Two Cops One.
I know. Yeah. Oh,
This is what's going to blow up your
what you don't know.
Your endeavor here.
Carolyn Gilmore was on yesterday. I had her on another 3-hour podcast because that girl can go. I love it. That's so awesome. She's a chief out at Sansom Park now, and she announced on the show officially that she's running for constable.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So
hey, tell her I ride through her little town.
Okay.
All the time.
Yeah,
and she's doing a good job.
So
I ride through so much less needles now.
Nice.
I get chased by less meth heads.
Is that a problem out there in that 1.2 square mile area?
No, not at all. No, it's awesome.
But I was talking to her, and she was telling me that she's always looking for Fort Worth guys to come out and train her. She's got like 10 people, like 10 officers, sworn officers. So, and those guys are thirsty for police work and stuff like that. So if you're ever out there and you want to help train.
I wonder if any of them do bikes, because they got that park right there with the newly put in trail, paved trail.
Okay.
It cuts right through Sansom Park.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then where that trail cuts through, it's all overgrown.
Yeah.
You can't see shit.
I'm still waiting for
it's a haven if you're wanting to, deal or, whatever. So,
little homeless parks and whatnot.
To become part of the patrol route would be, advantageous.
There we go. So, she might not know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Shit, I lost my train of thought. There we go.
Why are we here?
I don't know. Why are we here? I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Okay, so we talked about the foundation. So you do patrol, right? How many years did you do patrol?
Like regular patrol in a car?
Yeah. Just street patrol.
A whole year.
Okay.
On midnights.
So
I went to bikes.
Okay. Which is still patrol.
No, man. So I'm on mids, right? With wisdom and, having fun. Working a eventful side of town, we'll just say. And an opening comes for the bike unit.
Okay.
I like bikes.
Which let's okay, so you didn't fully explain your bike prowess, if you will. You weren't just a casual bike rider.
Not a novice, no.
Yeah, so let's backtrack. This is before you get onto the bike unit. People need to understand what level of bike rider you were.
All right, so I started racing in 99-ish and moved up the ranks in the USA cycling category hierarchy, right? Okay.
So we're talking Lance Armstrong shit, right?
No, we're not.
Oh, okay. Not at the doping level yet?
No, I'm not at the doping.
Okay.
No, I'm, for whatever fucking reason, growing up, interested in bikes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
8th grade. Well, I think it was 8th grade, 7th grade. I built my first Mongoose, tore it down, built it again, tore it down, built it again, spray paint, typical kid stuff.
Yeah.
But I was really into the, going far, exploring type stuff.
How far you could ride.
Yeah. And before entering high school, the summer before, I believe this is the summer before, my mother would know better than me. I saved up my pennies, chores, bought a used POS bike from the local bike shop, which was, hindsight 2020, way too small for me. And
you don't know what you don't know.
Riding the tow cages and all the typical beginner crap. It was an old bike.
Stuff.
Yeah, with the down tube shifters and shit.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. And I remember it some summer day, dad's at work, sister somewhere, I don't know. Like, Mom, we're going to go ride. We say this shit all the time as parents nowadays. Like, man, my parents used to just let me go outside.
Yeah.
Come home when the street lights turn on kind of thing. Yep. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she trusted me.
Yeah.
That I knew my way around the neighborhood.
Mine was more like when the drive-bys started happening.
Right.
You
start hearing the cracking, come inside.
Pop. Yeah, go inside. So it's Flint.
You and your hood upbringing. I'm from the streets, son. So I am not. I'm from North Suburbia, Fort Worth.
There you go. Hey, somebody's got to be.
Anyways, summer before ninth grade, I take off on a ride. I ended up doing like 80 miles, not wanting to, almost dying, getting lost.
I don't know.
Roanoke, north of Argyle, and all that shit up in there. Which back then, this is 97 or 98, just nothing but farm roads.
Yeah.
And pastures.
Okay.
And came face to face with many cattle because they're just out there.
Yeah.
And anyways, just kept going south, found my way home. All to say, back then I was kind of hooked on riding.
Yeah.
I loved it. Just the way it makes you feel and whatever. But getting into high school, my parents were always like, yeah, that's awesome, but you got to buy the bike, We're not going to buy you a $2,000 bike. You out of your mind? And so high school, get into running, did the cross country track thing, and ate it up.
Yeah, you're built for it.
Kept my ass out of kept my ass out of trouble is what it did.
Okay.
Had a great coach, Coach Hood, just the man.
Coach who?
Coach Hood.
All right, there we go.
Derek Hood. Just a good dude.
Yeah.
And but yeah, man, running, because you had to pass, right?
Yeah.
In order to stay in your sport. Back, I'm sure it's the same way now. You had to have passing grades in order to stay in your sport, whatever that sport was. So that was my only real motivator through high school to do schoolwork, was so I could keep running.
Gotcha.
But right out of high school, got a job, got my first bike, and then it was kind of game over. And started
the addiction.
racing. The addiction started. But got on what you would call an elite team, not a pro team, because we weren't paid.
Gotcha.
But we're an elite team, meaning we get a bike, we get the kits, we get travel support and that kind of stuff, and we're doing races. Most all of our races are with pros. Okay. We're doing pro races, but we're not a pro team yet because we don't have that license.
I gotcha.
Right? We don't have that budget.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that for a couple of years, up to the point where I broke my elbow at a nationals race, and I was just burned at that point. I was broke, working part-time at a Tulsa bike shop. I was living in Tulsa at the time. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck this.
You were in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I had moved from here to Fort Smith, Arkansas, which is where the team was based. The main sponsor was based out of. Because the riding and training up there is in Fort Smith.
Yeah.
Badass. I mean, you got the mountains up there in Fayetteville. You got Mount Magazine out to the east. The training's kick ass, especially compared to DFW, right?
Yeah.
Our climbing's a parking garage.
Yeah. It's flat, man. Yeah.
So, anyways, long story short, injury, moved back, trying to settle my debts that I incurred through all that.
Yep.
Got a job at a bike shop, started working in bike shops, owned one, Rockwall, cop.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But that first bike shop I landed moving back from Oklahoma is where I met my wife. And that's when things started getting, I guess, more serious for me in my life. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's time to start making some strides here.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lose this one.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Again, some shit here I've never really told her. So she's going to be listening to this like, yeah, you never told me that.
Yeah, right. good. I like being.
But it's like getting, how it goes.
Yeah.
You meet the one, the missus, the wife, and then the kid, and just put shit in perspective.
Yeah. When did you guys get married?
Oh wait,
in 2008.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to remember because I went out that one night. My wife was up in Michigan, and I went out with you guys. We went to some club. You remember that?
You remember who we went to go see?
I don't.
Vincent.
Is that? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
That was his gig out in Deep Ellum.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember we went out there, and I'm just like, "What the hell are we at?" Because it wasn't really like.
Oh, that was Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
So it was a little sketch. Yeah. At the time, at least. I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna move this mic.
Oh, all you see is the mic.
Yeah.
You don't see all this.
Yeah, I'm worried about your grill. I want people to see the beautiful mug that I get to see. So you can move that,
Oh, it moves.
Yes, yeah.
God, you're fancy.
Yeah, there you go.
Check.
No, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Check.
You do know the most important part of a podcast is the voice, the volume, the audio part, right?
I can't control the volume of my voice.
You're still wrong.
Austin Powers.
Remember? You got to talk into the tip.
Got it.
Okay, there you go.
We're good.
Just turn it towards your face. I'm gonna punch you. Keep going. Keep turning it that way. Beautiful. There.
You moved it over there. I thought that's where you wanted it.
No,
Sorry.
it was.
All right.
It's fine. It's a
If
learning.
anybody's still listening,
Yeah, they
bless
probably
your heart.
probably aren't.
No.
Anyway,
It's like, goodness, nowhere.
so the point I was trying to make is that you're biking.
Yep.
You're cycling, if you will, not steroids, actual cycling.
None of that crap, by the way.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people heard about the Lance and all that bullshit. So then they assume that if you're a serious bike racer, no matter what level, because they don't really understand what
They associate
European
it.
racing, they associate it all together. It's all generalized, right? Because we all love being generalized, especially us police.
Yeah.
And so, like, no,
In the
not
cycling
even
world.
close. Like, even if I thought about, I don't even know where to go.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
How do you afford it? That's the other thing.
Boom.
Yeah.
When I did my taxes that year in Oklahoma, guess how much I made for that year?
Negative money.
$9,000.
Look at you.
$9,000. I was
All
living
in.
off of ramen noodles and canned tuna.
I'm gonna use the shit out of that.
That one didn't even make sense.
Yes, it does.
It does?
It does.
Okay. And you're a weird head.
I am. Thank
There
you.
it is.
See?
So anyways, yeah. A lot of good experiences though.
Yeah.
Through that, traveling around coast to coast. Did a race in Bermuda when I was 21.
Really?
Yeah,
In the triangle.
Yeah. Dude, talk about a little place. Like, I was going and I was like, how the fuck are they going to have a bike race 3 square miles? It's like 3 square miles.
Is it really?
Yeah. So you're basically making loops out of certain areas.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, right? No cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
Sunny. You're cooking along at 30 miles an hour, and all of a sudden the storm blows in. Like, never saw it coming.
Really?
Yes, I was doing the crit down in their little town area, the Criterium race, which is a short little loop, right?
Yeah.
And I'm on these carbon stupid wheels that catch wind a lot.
Yeah.
And this storm blows in. Started the race. It's beautiful. It's not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago, but I remember this shit like it was yesterday. And of course, I'm getting my legs ripped off by these pros. George Hincapie was there. Most of that U.S. Postal Service team was there. And you got little old me, 21 years old, trying to make it, right?
Yeah.
Just throwing myself into the fire, just seeing what I'm made of.
Yeah.
Which wasn't much. And and this gust of wind comes in and the road's just soaked and, it's starting to flood. And it blew me diagonally across the street. I'm still moving forward and I stayed upright, but I just shifted by the wind. It was like a giant hand had come in and just guided me. Yeah. You're going to go from the right to the left now.
Yeah.
It was the freakiest thing.
That's crazy.
Next lap, nothing. Like these tropical storms blow in, and it's
and
just like
they're
boom, gone.
They're microaggressions is the
microaggressions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as the hippies would call it. To give you guys just a perspective of riding ability. Okay, so Joey gets me into riding even more. I think we had sparked that conversation up in the academy.
Yeah, man, we started commuting together.
Yeah,
Man.
well,
great.
not just that, but I had bought a bike, a hybrid bike, which is like a mix between a mountain bike and a road bike when I was still in Michigan, because I was wanting to get into riding. and we had a rail trail up there. So rail trails just basically follow railroad lines, and they go for miles. It's nice. So I had gotten into it a little bit and realized that the hybrid was not the best option for long distance fast riding. So I bought a Cannondale, and it was a used, but it was a carbon fiber, and I had put the money into it, and I really loved the bike. It was a great first bike, and I was fit for it pretty decent, according to you anyway. Yeah, once you met me and we rode, and then it got me hooked, but not hooked to a level where I knew what the hell I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just riding. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand cadence. I didn't understand heart rate. Nothing to that effect. I didn't know the rabbit hole went that deep. So I'm just a guy that just likes to ride a bike. So I come down here, go through the academy. Joey and I get hooked up and start talking about bike riding and stuff. And I told him, oh yeah, man, I like to ride bikes. And he, luckily, I wasn't one of those guys that fabricated stuff, so I told him right away, I got this bike, I do this, and he's like, okay. So he knew what level I was at, and he's like, I can show you some shit. And we ended up starting to ride, and he's teaching me, and long story short, we're riding back and forth to work. We're both on the bike unit, and we're riding back and forth to work. And I would say he was training me for a good year, at least. And, I mean,
yeah, it was a little while.
Yeah, I had built up a good riding pattern. I mean, for me, I consider I was a strong rider. And one day I challenged Joey. I'm like, we were riding together to work back and forth, So at the end of the shift, I was like, all right, dude, I just want to see where I'm at compared to you. So, we're talking a year plus into this. I want to see where I'm at compared to you. So when we start riding, once we get to this point, because we knew we had to get through some traffic lights and stuff like that, but then after that, it was a good clip straight away. So I want to see where I'm at. So when we get to that point, I don't want you to hold back. I want you to go. That motherfucker talked to me the next day because I didn't see him after that. That was it. I didn't see him. Like, we hit that spot.
Yes. When we were riding home?
Yeah, we were riding home.
So I rode with you towards your area.
Yes.
Which is way south from
yes.
my area.
Yes.
Right? So I'm taking a detour to ride with you.
Yes.
So we did that, and I look back and I'm like, I ain't got time. Like, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to feel like a dick, but
no, I asked for it.
Home.
I asked for it. And it was at that moment that I realized the difference between a professional rider and a novice who's...
So
I rode regular, man.
But anybody listening to this that knows anything about the bike world, I was never a professional. Just the Cat 1. All right?
Yeah.
So, because when you say that in the cycling world, you say professional just to describe an ability.
Yeah.
In the cycling world, we're like, oh, look, like he was getting paid.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting paid. Like,
but you had the ability of a professional. You just didn't get found by somebody yet.
I think if I had played my cards a little better when I was younger and was more sensible about budgeting money, and I just lined things up, had a better plan, and was able to stick with it for 2 or 3 more years to build, I could have been a solid workhorse for a team.
Yeah.
I was never going to be that guy with the natural, 80, VO2 max, some of these freaks have. Because at a certain point, in any sport, endurance sports especially, you train as much as you want.
Yeah.
You give a fuck. At a certain point, it's ability.
Yeah.
What were you born with, lung capacity wise, lactic threshold, whatever.
Yeah.
That's going to get you to that next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why in sports like cycling, before our testing has gotten as advanced as it is, doping is so prevalent because you train for 10, 20 years. You've put your whole life into this. And you've gotten to this breaking point, let's call it, right? You got this kid here who was just born with a little more ability. And you're being told by, in most cases, especially in these other teams, by your freaking boss, all you got to do is take this, and you're going to be at that level, period.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You keep training the way you're training. Don't stop. Don't all that down. Stays the same. Status quo. All you got to do is take this.
Yep.
Okay. Case closed because my family's depending on it.
Yeah.
This is a foreign
mindset
to us Americans over here.
Yeah.
You're talking about these Belgians and these other Europeans that it's their livelihood.
Yep.
They have no other option.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then they get busted, and now they're just fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now the whole world knows.
Yep.
Their little village or wherever they're from knows that, yeah, he was. Yeah, that's kind of part of it.
Yep.
But us over here, like, oh my gosh, he took that?
Yeah.
How could he even think about that? Like,
yeah. No,
man, it's
no perspective.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
It is. Luckily, that's changing. That tide is changing.
Yeah.
But, man, I saw that writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I had ever considered it.
Yeah.
But I was racing against guys that were getting busted.
Oh.
That happened often.
And
like hindsight, because back then,
still whipping their ass.
Well, no, but back then the testing was so delayed that you get your ass kicked by a group of whatever, a team, let's say.
Yeah.
You weren't in the money. Because for me, I'm racing for prize money. I'm not getting a paycheck, right?
Right.
I can't solely depend on my part-time paycheck from this bike shop. I'm not working enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to earn money from racing a bike.
Yeah.
Period. To afford my Taco Bell and ramen noodles.
I love Taco Bell. Guilty pleasure. I fully admit it.
Yeah.
In Michigan, that is Mexican food.
I burned myself out on it, so I can't have it. Anyways, but yeah, the testing was delayed, so the results would come out like sometimes a month later.
Damn.
And be like, hey, this race over here, the top 5 are disqualified or whatever. They're gonna in the books now. They're no longer the winners.
Gotcha.
But to that 6th place person who now is the winner, does he get that money?
No.
Nope.
Damn.
Who got that money?
I didn't even think about that.
First place got that fucking money because it was cash payout.
And they don't go back for it,
No.
obviously. Yeah.
Nope.
No shit.
And just a real quick story, man. I did a race that was part of a race series called Super Week in Michigan.
Hey.
Yeah, all along the lake border.
The coastline,
on the east side.
yeah.
Yep. So it's a series of crits.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple road races thrown in, but a series of criterium races. They're about 100K long, so about 2-hour crits. These are top level races, averaging 30-ish miles an hour. I mean, balls of the wall stuff, right? Racing with the pros.
Yeah.
A lot of these big pro teams, like Lance's team and Jan Ulrich back then, his team, they would send their B squad to go over to these races to win money, bring back, because there was a lot of money to be won.
Yeah.
I mean, they would do these gambler preems. A preem is a prize for just that one lap. You're doing 100 laps because they're about 1K courses. So you do about 100 laps. They would throw in these preems called gambler preems for about $1,000 for just the winner of that lap.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're holding back.
Oh, yeah. So it makes the whole race just brutal the entire time.
Yeah.
Because if you have a team of 7, you got a preem designated member, you got an overall designated guy.
Yeah.
Going for the overall win, and you got a preem.
So everybody else is pulling for them.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So if you're on a team that's just trying to survive,
yeah.
it's brutal the entire time.
Yeah.
So Jan Ulrich's team at the time, he was on a factory team of Bianchi. They send over their B squad. I will never forget. I'll tell everybody this story because I don't give a shit. I'm on the start line, little old me on this elite team. I'm not a pro. I'm a wannabe. And I've got these pros around me, domestic guys, and these fucking Germans over here on this Bianchi team. Very standout-ish kits. Celeste, green, Bianchi kits.
By kits, you mean the uniform.
The jersey.
Yeah.
The jersey. Yeah. And I swear to God, in broken English, this German talks to one of our domestic pros, a top-tier dude. I heard, is it true? No doping control? And he's like, the American looks at him like he's crazy, like, fuck no, man, we can't afford that shit. And these two Germans look at each other, no, and they say in their own language, and they high five each other. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
We're done.
Here we go. And dude, that gun goes off, and it's just, Jesus.
Like they're on meth.
Yes.
Oh, geez.
I was just like, that was the most discouraging.
Yeah.
I wish I had never heard that.
Yeah.
Because maybe I would have tried harder after the broken elbow thing. I don't know. But
yeah,
that was the most discouraging thing. So I'm like, fuck, is it really that prevalent?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's terrible.
Damn.
Okay. Well, let's
let me just say, that was then, I'm talking early 2000s.
Yeah.
That is not the case nowadays.
Okay.
Okay. Any buddy listening who rides and shit like that. That was then.
Okay.
Even though it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
Think about how technology advances with our phones.
Right.
It's the same shit when it comes to doping controls.
Testing.
The testing has come like so far.
Thank you, anyway. USADA. So let's stay with this thought. You convinced me to do a ride for a good cause, MS, multiple sclerosis.
Oh shit! Yeah,
you forgot, did you?
Oh my god, the helmet backwards.
So at the time, folks, the farthest I had rode was maybe 40, 50 miles.
Well, we were asked to do the ride as police.
As police,
right?
yes.
To help, govern the ride. Like if we saw a crash, we would help with traffic control, that kind of shit.
Anything like that. Yep. So I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I can. Joey tells me, I trust him. He's a coach and does all that. And he's like, listen, if you can ride 40 or 50 miles, you can make 100. And that's what it was.
It's all about pacing.
Yeah, it was 107 miles, something like that. It
becomes an eating competition at that point.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I don't know what I'm doing, but I love to ride. And we'd been riding a little bit. And he convinces me to go do this police function with him. And there's a point in the race where you decide if you're going to do the short route or the long route.
I forgot about that.
And we're going, and I'm telling you guys, I'm having a blast. We're having fun. We get into the, I'm riding, I'm just following Joey, and it's called pulling. If you get behind somebody, whether you believe it or not, when you ride real close to somebody's wheel, it really makes the ride easier for you. Now, Joe pulls for me the entire time, the entire way. And he says, hey, there's a good group riding up here. Let's catch up with them. So we do. And we're riding at a good clip. I mean, for me anyway, that was crazy.
Oh, we were going,
I had never rode at this type of pace. I mean, I'm talking, we're averaging about 22, 23 miles an hour.
We weren't playing around.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, cool. So we're going, and I am having a blast. And there's these stations that you pull off at to regroup,
fill your bottles.
Yeah, fill your bottles up, replenish and stuff like that. It's not a race by any means, but it's a I don't know how to describe it, but you're going. And we get to about the split off. I want to say it was about 40 or 50 miles in, and if you go left, you're riding to the end. It's about another 10 miles. If you go right, you're riding about another 40 miles. So Joe looks at me and says, hey, which way do you want to go? And I ain't no bitch. So I was like, let's keep going, bro. I'm feeling it. And I wasn't lying. I felt great. You can continue the story from there. So I'd love to know your perspective.
I remember the decision-making split.
Yes.
And then all I remember is reaching that last rest stop.
Yeah.
Because you started fading a little bit.
There was about 15 miles left.
Yeah. We're at 80-something miles in. Because it was just over 100 for the day. I think 102 maybe. Oh, man, this was a while ago. And Eric here takes his helmet off. It's hot that day.
Yeah. Pickle juice. I learned pickle juice.
Pickle juice. Help him with his leg cramps, all that shit. We got to get back on the bike. I'm waiting for him. Why didn't I take a picture? Maybe my phone didn't have that ability back then. I don't know.
Yeah.
When we go to get back on, this motherfucker's got his helmet on backwards because he's so out of it. And he's like, all right, man, let's go. And I remember staring at you for like a couple seconds.
You thought I was playing.
I contemplated, like, should I let him just go without telling him with the helmet on backwards and just say, fuck it. It'd be awesome to finish like that. But I was like, man, I can't do that to the guy. Like,
he goes, what are you doing, man? And I'm like, what? And he's like, your helmet's on backwards. And I was like, oh. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, I was spent.
Like, the helmets have these head locking systems that wrap around the back of your head. That shit was like almost over your eyes, and you didn't even know it.
Nope. I was out of it.
Hindsight 2020, what I know now. Back then, I shouldn't have encouraged you to keep going.
No.
If you were that much out of it, like,
and I wasn't joking.
No, I know
like
you
it wasn't playing.
I know you weren't. Like, looking back on it, and I'm just, no, you should have just called it.
Yeah, I should have called it.
Like,
I mean, the best part about the race at the end was like they feed you all this food.
Yeah.
and I couldn't touch it.
Yep.
Because I just, my
That's
appetite.
the weird thing about it, right?
Yeah.
You go out there and you burn 4 or 5, sometimes 6,000 calories.
Mm-hmm.
You would think you're a bottomless pit at the end of that. You're not.
No.
You lose your appetite.
Yep.
Most often.
Yeah.
And it takes hours before everything settles, before you're like, oh shit, now I'm starving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and the best part about this is it's a 2-day thing.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't continue. I could not continue. Like Joey calls me, hey, you be here?
We riding tomorrow, bro?
Yeah. I tell you guys, I was so dead. I was so dead. And I'm an athlete, damn it. I am an athlete. I do jiu-jitsu, martial arts, played baseball, played hockey. I do all these things. There's a different type of athletes, and I am not a cyclist athlete by any stretch of the imagination. This guy.
Bullshit.
This guy.
The short amount of time that you and I commuted with each other.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen enough people give cycling a shot.
Yeah.
And put the time in and
Yeah.
progress. The amount you progressed in the short amount of time. You talk about that little day. We did a little test or whatever. And I wrote, whatever. You progressed so much in that short amount of time. The engine is there.
Oh, I don't think I have
the engine.
Not that type of engine.
Yeah, you do.
I've seen you. We will go up these hills, man, and it's like I figure out where my breaking point is, and every athlete knows themselves, and they're like, okay, that was my breaking point, and then what makes us athletes, good athletes anyway, and I'm not saying I'm a good athlete, but what the measure I have for athletes is you push yourself past that, and Joey and I will be doing these hills or whatever it is, and I'll push myself, and I'm like, oh my God, you're talking 3 seconds. You pushed yourself 3 seconds extra, and you're like, oh, it's it. I'm done. My body physically can't do it. His breaking point keeps going, and then when he pushes past his breaking point, he keeps fucking going, and I can't believe it. I'm honestly, it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. And I know if we were to get on the mats and roll or do any of the jiu-jitsu stuff or whatever it is,
Own me.
you don't have that.
No.
But on a bike or running, this kid is just insane. And it's cool. It's cool. It's a cool thing to see. And what I love is I love gauges. I love seeing where you're at. Like for me as an athlete, doing anything athletic, I love being able to see like, all right, where you at, Levine? Where are you at on this? And when we would ride, I knew where I was at realistically, and especially after that night that we rode, because I said, and I'm telling you, I gave it everything I had, and I lost sight of him. I couldn't even see him. Once he got to a point I could no longer see him, and it's at night, and I could see tail lights because we had tail lights on our bikes and headlights, and we were riding down a road that basically had no traffic on it, period. I lost him. Once he was out of sight, I could no longer see him. And I made it all the way home. And we had a thing where every night, hey, I made it. We text each other.
Oh, yeah, we did that. Yeah.
And he made it home before I made it home. And I live almost 20 miles closer than he does.
It's not that much.
I know, it's not that bad. But it's still, you made it home before I made it home. I was like, the fuck? So it was eye-opening. It was discouraging in a good way, not a bad way. I kept riding. It wasn't that I just like, what am I doing? I kept riding. I'm not getting paid for that stuff. So, but dude, I have a gift. Everybody's got their gifts. Yours is riding and running.
But it's a matter of being able to push yourself past the burn. That's what I always tell the people I coach, right? If you cannot push past that burn, don't expect the adaptation to occur to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And when you have accepted that feeling of just, putting your mind in that dark place where it sucks.
Yeah.
And to some people, it's just riding a bike, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you've done it
Yep.
and you've almost feel like when you feel like you almost literally killed yourself pedaling a bike, trying to keep up with whoever or training, whatever, and you come out of it better on the other side, and that light bulb goes off, like, all right, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to push myself to this point to see what my body can take.
Yeah.
When it came to the academy, I knew what I could take.
Yeah.
Right. I had those experiences and those feelings. And when it came to the ground fighting, I wasn't ever going to give up. I had never done anything like that before in my life.
Yep.
That was all foreign to me. I was one of those guys, right?
Yep.
Not like you, coming to the academy,
Yeah.
with your fucking jiu-jitsu background and shit, and like looking at people like me flopping around on the ground. But I knew pain, right? And I knew my own abilities.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I related it to all my experience, obviously.
Right.
What else do you do? But it definitely helped me get through and embrace it.
Yeah. Because
I had embraced that in the past, that kind of pain. And when it came to the academy, I was like, fuck, man, I'm finally getting paid for this shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I always said on the bike unit. I'm finally getting paid to ride a bike.
Yep. We're pro riders.
That's all I ever wanted in life.
Yeah. You were making way more money than what most people who start getting paid on a bike make.
That's the other big like demotivator is you're working this hard. You're putting yourself in this much of debt or whatever, pain, like broken bones, to make what? 20 to 30 grand a year as a domestique, which is a workhorse on a team. God.
What are they called?
Domestique.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your guy who works for the guy who may win.
Okay.
Right?
The puller.
Yeah,
pull.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Like who George Hincapie was to Lance Armstrong.
I gotcha. Okay.
Domestique. He was a super domestique.
Yeah. I knew that my riding was getting good when I would go out and ride on a trail or whatever it was on a mountain bike, and I'm out riding people on road bikes.
Yeah.
That was awesome because Joey'd do it on the regular. Joey'd be, all of us would be on a road bike and Joey'd be on a mountain bike, and he's still.
It's the equalizer.
He's still out pulling us and the workhorse of all of it. And for him, it was a workout. For us, we're dead. But that was fun, and to know that I had gotten to a level, which for those that don't know, there's a very, very good technique to riding. Like I could go ride now and I could do 100. I know right now, even though I haven't rode in a year or two, I could still go out and ride 100 because I know how to ride now.
You'll put your helmet on backwards.
I'll put my helmet on backwards, but I know I could go out and ride 100 miles. It ain't going to be the fastest 100, but I could do it. I know I could do it. And that was the confidence level through your training that I had gotten because
you knew what that felt like.
I knew what it felt like. And then now I'm like, oh, okay. And we push hard for the first time I ever rode 100. And I don't have to do that. If I want to ride 100, I can ride 100. Yeah. But I know where that limit's at now, so that's pretty cool. But that leads into, we'll jump back into you joining the bike unit for police and stuff like that. But since we're talking about cycling and coaching and stuff like that, like you have an ability to teach people how to ride. And I think you finally embraced that to a level where that's kind of your gig.
Well, at Rockwall, I had started a coaching gig because in Rockwall, if you don't know where that is, it's like its own little area of North Texas because it's divided by Lake Ray Hubbard, Rowlett, and Dallas.
Home of the 2-pound donut, right? Yeah,
exactly.
It's a cop joke.
So it's removed from DFW. Let's just say that, okay? So it's its own thing out there. And when we started the bike shop, there hadn't been a bike shop in Rockwall for years. So everybody was going across the big lake to the Rowlett, Dallas area to get a tube, So you had all these people that were interested and novice people and wanting to get into the sport in Rockwall that really had no other avenue to do so. We move in, boom. We're rolling gangbusters
So give people an idea that aren't from Texas. That's in the Dallas area. We're high population area.
Yep.
Guys. This is a big. We're not talking, bumfuck Egypt, whatever you want to call it.
Dallas is huge, and then to the far east, you got Rowlett, and then the Big Lake, and then Rockwall.
Yeah.
And then Greenville and that kind of stuff. So Rockwall is its own county out there. West of that lake, it's all Dallas County.
Okay.
Right? So for them, PD wise, it's always a big, gray area with the bridge that goes over the lake. Whose county is it? Anyways, so when we open doors, we did really well, even though we started during a recession. Oh wait,
yeah,
we were recession proof
because you're the only ones there.
Yeah. So that brought with it the people that wanted to race and train, and they didn't know who to reach. Right, coaching was something I always wanted to pursue. Yeah, because I felt like I had some knowledge to give to the beginners. So I started the Joe's Bicycle Coaching then, LLC'd it and all that shit.
I got to LLC this still.
Do you?
Yeah, I still got to do that.
Protect yourself, man.
I'm broke.
It doesn't cost shit, man.
Dude, I've spent $6-7 grand on this. I don't have the money.
Joe's Bicycle Coaching will sponsor you.
Okay.
$1 million.
Nice. I knew you guys were balling.
Yep, done deal. $1 million. Bike shop employee and bike coach. Definitely the most money, rich things to get into in America. I mean, I think become a millionaire.
Didn't Bill Gates start asking you for business advice? Yeah, I figured. Yeah, makes sense. He was a cycler.
Yeah, me and Elon, I give him advice every now and then.
Yeah.
He's such an idiot.
Oh, yeah, he needs electric bikes and all that. Psh, muscle.
So I joined the PD and I put all the coaching stuff on hold for about 2 years. Maybe 3.
I was going to say, I think it was longer than that.
Yeah, it was longer than that.
Because Marcus, I think Marcus was your first,
So, getting the bike unit, Marcus shows up. Marcus is into it. He's really into it.
Yeah. You want to talk about a person that has the drive but lacks the athleticism. I mean, that poor guy, it took him 5 years to get what took me 6 months.
Dick. He would kick your ass.
Now he would. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah.
So. He is the most driven individual I've ever coached, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm always telling him, I don't know where it comes from, but keep it going, man.
He's a good dude.
Dude's like a totally different person from when he started.
Right?
So starting
I should post that picture.
When I started training out of the academy, my FTO had to take a week off. Not a week off. He had to take a night off.
Who was your FTO? Shelton, right?
For midnights. Yeah, Tom.
Great dude.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And we got along great. I got along great with all my FTOs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you mentioned it on an earlier podcast, but you never worked for a bad sergeant.
No.
Even though other people didn't get along with that sergeant, you didn't.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I've had great sergeants, supervisors my entire time.
Yeah.
Been awesome. Yeah. Even though some of those supervisors didn't get along with other people.
Yep.
I did.
Yeah.
It's what you make of it. You know what I mean? And especially as a rookie, to anybody out there who's interested in starting out, don't butt heads with your FTO.
Oh, God.
Like, if they have a way of doing things and you disagree with it, suck it up, buttercup.
Keep that shit inside.
Keep that shit inside. Like, be like, because you know what? That motherfucker knows more than you.
Yep.
Period. I don't care if you're prior, somewhere else. This is your FTO.
Yep.
This is the person that went through the training. He or she knows their shit. Listen.
I had more years in police work than my first FTO. And you know what I did? I showed up, I shut the fuck up, and I listened to him. And he is one of the greatest dudes I've ever met. And you work with him now.
I know,
Pennington. He's great.
I bet he'd probably disagree with that. He'd probably be like, Eric questioned everything I did.
No, never. I knew the game. I shut up. I listened. It was fun. The only thing that probably got Pennington into anything was his BFF was Bell. And Bell came into that with this is his rookie, not knowing that I had prior experience. Mm-hmm. And it turned into me and Pennington making fun of Bell. You know how it is. Just jokingly, but he got mad one night.
Those two dudes, man.
Yeah, they're great guys.
Yep.
And I love Bell. Bell's got one of those careers that it's like he loved police work. He was ate up with police work. He wanted to learn, and he was so, I don't want to say aggressive, but he was so into it that he got ahead of himself. I think that's all it was. And that happens with your motivated rookies that don't have the experience. They get ahead of themselves, and they got to learn from getting ahead of themselves.
Well,
and he did.
Like we said, I started when I was 32. If I started as young as Carl did,
because he was
I
the
would've been
youngest you could start.
I learned a lot of hard life lessons in my early 20s
Yeah.
through racing, through all the jobs I had, whatever.
Yep.
That helped me
Yeah.
big time. And it's a good thing I didn't start this job until I was 30.
I brought this up with the prosecutors when they were on the show.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Is just my personal opinion. Maybe not being allowed to become a police officer till you're 25. Because I would tell you, and you tell me this, at 21, I would have told you I'm ready. Because I knew I wanted to be a cop.
Sure.
And I didn't become a cop at 21, but
Yeah.
I would have told you, oh, I could do that job right now. But now reflecting at 38 or at your 52, however old you are, because you're old shit.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd look back and you'd say, I was an idiot. There's no way I was mature enough for that.
Yeah.
Because I know me. Could I have gotten by? Sure. But do I think mentally I was ready? No.
Yeah.
I'm totally honest with myself.
This job, man, is talking to people,
Mm-hmm.
period. And I have a great example just yesterday in my position now as an NPO,
Which is what's NPO stand for?
neighborhood patrol officer. Actually, what it really stands for is neighborhood patrol operator.
Okay.
Because we're pretty tactical.
That makes
We just
you just
we
like
get
in the
we get
beard.
a barking dog complaint or something like that. We'll go busting down doors.
That makes
Fuck
sense.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Get the,
He's joking.
bring the bear cat out.
Yeah.
Here we got a barking dog.
Yeah.
Show me your, no, I'm kidding.
Show me your hand. Show me your paws.
We're your friendly neighborhood police
Yeah.
officer.
Lay down.
Lay down.
Good boy. Roll over. I said roll over.
Bring me the treats. Where are the treats?
This dog has no discipline. I love it.
What was I even
Wait.
saying?
There we go.
Boom.
Yes. I think we were talking about FTOs and training, and
Something like that.
I don't know how we got it on that.
Dude, I don't know.
Where were we at? We were talking about your coaching. You're talking about how you coached Marcus, and you joined the bike unit. You'd picked up on your bike coaching again.
Right. Mainly because don't tell him this. I'll make his head any bigger and start posting more pictures.
Right.
Poor Marcus.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think you could post any more pictures.
well, he kept asking me questions, right, when we were on the bike unit together because he knew my racing background.
Yeah.
And I was riding a little bit at the time, commuting and shit.
You were coaching me.
I wasn't super motivated. Yeah, I wasn't super motivated to get back into racing or anything.
Yeah.
To be totally honest, man, like I was trying to put that behind me
Yeah.
and start a new chapter.
I knew you were.
Yeah,
I could tell.
I think I had said it at one
Yeah.
point, but then here comes Marcus. Oh, I'm all motivated. I'm gonna be a badass on a bike. Well, I can't let him be faster than me. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that ain't ever gonna happen.
So anyway, he sparked that fire for me to start coaching again, and
Yeah.
reinstated the LLC, and just went up from there.
Yeah.
But as it relates to the job, I love it now, and I rely on it sometimes because it's not police work. It's something else.
Yeah.
It's a break.
It breaks it up.
It's when I commute home
Mm-hmm.
in the afternoon, and it's been one of those days. Because as an NPO, you're answering the phone calls from your simple complaints, neighborly complaints, stuff like that. But you're also answering calls.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're answering some shitty calls.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, we had that hostage situation, and that was a bad day.
Yeah.
You know, it was pretty stressful. Being able to commute by bike may sound,
Terrible.
whatever.
Yeah.
To
A
some
lot of
people-
people think that's terrible.
That's the most healthy,
Therapeutic.
decompressing, therapeutic.
Yeah.
I do not want to go sit behind the fucking wheel in traffic
Yeah.
and listen to commercials on their fucking radio.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because by the time you get home after you rode, you got the endorphin fix. You feel better about yourself.
Yep.
You got a workout in. That shit's behind you now.
Yep.
You
I
know?
can't tell you how many times you and I, folks, if you ride your bike to work, you have no choice after that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to ride home.
Yeah.
So Joey here convinced my dumbass to ride to work. And
to leave yourself no other option but to ride home.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there would be times that we would get stuck. I'm talking, we get off at 3 a.m. after the bars close. You got that half-hour window. We'd make an arrest, whatever it was. And it was Now we got to ride home. And I'm telling you, I didn't want to. I know I didn't want to. But 2 driving factors. 1, I know his bitch ass has to ride home, and I'm not going to let him punk me by, calling my wife to come. Not that she would ever do that, but, or getting a ride home from somebody, if that was an option. But, and then the other factor was, once you did it one time, you started to realize the benefit. Because if you're working in police work, there is a lot of sedimentary time. Is that the right word? Were you sitting around? Sedimentary?
Sedentary?
Sedentary. That's what I was
know.
looking for.
Maybe. I don't even know what you're trying to say.
So sedentary, yes.
Lazy time.
Lazy time. That's the word I was looking for.
Whiskey's good.
I like whiskey. But no. Yeah, I couldn't. So there's a lot of downtime. Not all the time, but so if you're sitting around and
it's boring till it's not, right?
Yeah, it's boring till it's not. Until you're trying to pit a car with your bicycle. We'll get into that.
Shut up, Eric.
We'll get into that.
Eric.
But yeah, you ride that distance back home, and when you get home, you're so glad you did it.
Mm-hmm.
You're so glad you did it.
I never regret going on a ride.
Never.
You know what I mean?
I regret before a ride.
Yeah.
I regret before a ride.
Dude, I can't tell you how many times, especially on the bike unit, working evenings, and you're leaving at 3 or 2 in the morning, whatever.
Knowing you got an hour ride
and you're
less.
tired as fuck.
Yeah.
You're kitting up, putting the shit in the locker and just like, I would give anything to have my car here right now just to drive home. But then, boom, the second I start pedaling,
yeah. And I got to say,
feels good.
I was extremely lucky. Maybe you were extremely lucky. Never got a flat on the way home.
Boy, no shit.
If I got a flat on the way home, that may have been the breaker. That may have been that, fuck this, I ain't doing it anymore.
Never considered that. There, good point.
Thank you for the gator tires.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Because that was you're like, just put some gators on there. And I was like,
They're
really?
not the fastest, but at least you won't get a flat.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're out there and you're like, no, gators, I can't ride as quick. Listen, you ain't getting paid. You ain't getting paid to ride. Put the gators on there.
What's slower, spending 15 minutes on the side of the road fixing your little fast tire?
Yep.
Or just keep pedaling home and you get there.
Yep.
So
worth it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I wanted to go down that rabbit trail a little bit. So
you're gonna have to edit the shit out of this one.
Hell no. Hell no. How far in do you think we are?
Hour and a half.
We are 2 hours in, sir.
Are you serious?
Yep.
My parents are gonna be pissed. They're like, come pick your boys up.
Hey, they need a chance to be real grandparents for once. All right, you'd be over there drinking right now if it weren't for this. So
that's true.
But
drinking all my dad's whiskey.
Right. Speaking of, we need to get old Keith on here. I know he's not a big public speaker, but
I think he'd dig it.
You think he'd dig it?
Yeah,
dude. Oh,
get his take back. Working back then.
Shout out to Keith Spragins. Keith Spragins, like my dad, which is
bust out the whistles.
Odd. He is a woodworker and he makes these custom whistles.
Hey, little backstory, real quick, before you get into my dad's woodworking. My dad's first job was a framer, for houses, right, in Fort Worth.
Okay.
He grew up in Fort Worth.
Gotcha.
Lived off of 8th Avenue area and West Side. There used to be a storefront sector off of Camp Bowie in Ridgely area. And as a kid, he helped build the planter boxes and all kinds of crap over there for that area. Then grows up, becomes a cop, and is working right there. All to say, he's been working in that kind of thing for a long time.
Yeah.
So even when he was an officer, he was making nameplates for his sergeants to
really
put on their desks.
Okay.
That shit started getting around, and he started getting these requests. And my parents, they're always building, making whatever, something for someone else.
I need a Corporal Levine badge number 4098.
I got a kick-ass nameplate. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you really?
Hell yeah.
Fuck, I want one.
My name and my ID.
No shit. Which is one better than mine. He's a better shot than me.
A better shot.
Yep.
You were a better test taker, but I was a better shot.
He was a better shot than me. God, we're going through the academy, folks, and I had no idea that shooting was a part of the grading process for your overall percentage. So it's me and Inman fighting the whole way. I'm like, all right.
For academic grade.
For academic grade, for top grade in the class.
Yep.
And no big deal. We shoot. We do all that shit. I know I'm a bad pistol shot. Doesn't matter. I mean, I can pass, but I'm not the greatest, so big deal. We get through that. Then we get towards the end of the academy, and they factor in your shooting. And this asshole
who's one of my BFFs in the class, is the 1 point better than me, or 0.5% better than me.
It wasn't much.
It wasn't much, because the difference between the top number 1 and the 8th, which was me, was like less than a 0.25%.
You know, hindsight 2020, I think probably Stahura just fibbed it.
Yeah.
Just to get me over you, just to piss you off.
That probably was true. I mean, what made me mad was I was used to a 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 9mm at my old.
Oh, is this going to be the excuses?
Yes, this is the excuse. So I had a 9mm at my old place. I had a 9mm in the military.
Yeah.
And then we get to our department and they make us shoot a 40. Okay, I get it. They let the females switch over to a 9mm.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, can I get the 9mm? Like, I'm not coming from a place of like,
right.
you know, well, I want that because it'll make it easier. I'm used to a 9.
Sure.
I'm not making any. I'm making an excuse. I'm not making an excuse, but I like a 9. I know I like a 9, and I shoot a 9 a lot better. And like, no, we'll get you where you need to be. Okay, it's fucked up.
And now guess what? We're all carrying 9s.
And now we're all carrying 9s, and guess who's got one number better than me? It's fine though, because I promoted, so now fuck you. So,
No.
yeah.
I'll pass you somewhere.
No, you won't. Ever.
What? No?
Ever.
Ever? Okay.
Chiefly mean before you get.
I don't want that shit. But you know what I was used to?
Yeah.
Shooting wise?
Nothing.
Not a damn
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So
And that makes
hear it.
that makes a big difference too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because I remember when we did the night fire, when they turned all the lights off and you're just shooting off your sights. And I had
that was fun.
I had a group. I mean, better than I've ever shot in the light.
Yeah.
And then
That was fun.
that taught me a lot about myself afterwards. Like, dude, it's a mental thing. Like, you're fucking yourself up mentally.
Yeah.
And I did, and I know I did now, because after
anybody listening that's signing up or whatever, you shoot so much.
Oh yeah.
What did we put?
5,000 rounds, I believe, or near
More
that.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Calluses on your hand. Your hands hurt at the end of the day.
Oh
from
man,
loading.
loading. That was
Good
the
Lord.
worst. Yeah.
But
And this is coming from a guy that came from another department. Like, I never shot as much as we shot for them. And then military either.
yeah.
I shot more at our academy than I ever
I believe
shot.
it. I believe it. And at the end of the day, again, I'm getting in the car to go home. I'm getting paid to do this shit. They're paying me?
Yeah.
Can't be kidding me.
Pay me to go pew pew.
Paying me to unload this many rounds all day long?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep. It's all about perspective,
All right.
baby. All about perspective. So,
Badass, man.
all right,
Love
Joey.
it.
So you do your patrol time, and then the bike opening happens, and you join the bike unit. How
Yeah, I
many
wouldn't
years-
say I did my patrol time. I mean, you talk to others and like, you only did a year. And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was a year on mids on regular patrol. Opening comes up on bikes. I like bikes. Talk to Wisdom. And he's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you've only been there almost a year, but fuck it, put in. See if you get it. You might not get it. I was like, I had the whole accepted the rookie thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm a rookie. I have no expectations of getting this.
Yeah.
I just want to show my interest by putting in.
Yeah.
I assumed back then that there'd be a shitload of people putting in for that. Like it was a coveted position.
Right.
I was the only one that put in.
Crazy.
The sergeant at the time calls me up like, hey, is this Spragins? Yeah. Well, you were the only one that put in. You want it? Sure. And I remember thinking, I think I probably should stay in patrol longer, but I can't turn it down. Like, how does that look?
Yeah.
Don't want to burn a bridge.
Right.
So took it, but looking back, I mean,
So
downtown at that time, I know it wasn't the downtown of old, don't get me wrong, because West 7th was just coming of age. I mean, we took our fair share of fight calls and drunks. And,
so one of the arguments that I'll tend to make for people, because I'm a big believer that you need to do 3 to 5 years in patrol, unless you have a special ability. And not that you're special at all, because you're fucking not.
I'm very special.
And yeah, you're special in a certain way. But you have a unique skill set to bring to bikes.
Oh, I know, right? I can work on a bike.
But it's not just that you can work on a bike, and you know that. It's not that you can just work on a bike, but
your background is bikes, and that goes for anybody. When I went down to the academy, I had a ground fighting background. I had certain things that I could bring to the table for training recruits that a lot of people didn't have, and it is important. And it was the same when you went to bikes. So you go to bikes and you have this unique skill set, but you proved my point, because when you went to bikes, you changed the training completely of what the bike unit was at the time.
Yeah, I think I was 2 months in, and I went to at the time, LIBA, instructor school to help teach the class.
Yeah.
And so I was helping
I was IPIMBA at the time,
right?
For my old
Which
department.
is what we ended up switching to.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with it.
But yeah, I ended up becoming one of the instructors and helping teach the class, developed a mechanic class and that kind of thing. But when I moved to the day shift spot, which was awesome.
I hated
well,
you.
no, let me back up.
Hated
they asked
you.
me to be the training coordinator.
Yes.
Right? Because I was already teaching the classes and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, training court, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, it's not like I'm getting a pay raise or anything. You're just going to be tasked with more shit.
Yep.
And you're still going to be answering calls. I was like, yeah, cool. But I want day shift with these days.
Yeah.
And so they made that happen because they needed a training coordinator.
Yep.
And I needed that shift to do that.
Yeah.
Because the training coordinator thing for the shit I wanted to do, I was biting off a pretty big chunk with developing a mechanic class, which is something that just started from scratch.
Yeah.
There's
still a pretty new dad too, so that helps.
Yeah, the IPIMBA, there's an IPIMBA mechanic class out there, and I didn't even know about that shit at the time, to be honest, when I started it. I just started my own thing. And I leaned on my dad to help me make those wooden bases for the stations, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
So it worked out great. But yeah, man, it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, after a couple of years of that, it's not why I became a cop.
Yep.
It just wasn't.
Yeah.
I was just like, I left the bike shop to get out of working on bikes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a cop to do these other things. And so the more I looked into the NPO position, I was like, there's a lot of ability there, freedom there to do things.
Yep.
Right? Work with the community in different ways and be creative and just do different things. So
when you went to the bike unit initially, in your perspective, what is the bike unit? What's the bike unit's function? What are they designed to do?
Okay, so when I started, the primary function of the bike unit was answer calls downtown, period. Because our downtown is so small, it's rideable. And in most cases, it's quicker to respond by a bike, right?
Yeah.
Like we would beat patrol response to higher priority calls all the time.
Yeah. I think you and I even proved that in a residential neighborhood that we could respond
and see
quicker than a patrol car could.
And see things you don't see.
Yes.
And they don't see you.
Yeah.
Because they don't know you're popo rolling up.
We had so much fun. I'll get into that in a second.
Yeah,
but keep going with what bike patrol was to you when you first got in.
So just a call, response unit for a small area.
Yeah.
That's all downtown bikes was. 2 shifts, day shift and evenings. And so for the evening shift, it was mostly controlling the people in the bars, right?
Yeah.
At night, all the PI calls you get, unrulies and
public intoxication.
Yeah, the fight calls just left and right.
Yep.
One night, I think you and I decided, you know what? Let's take the truck.
Yep.
We had this bike truck for hauling crap around. It's an F-250. I think Ryan called it the covered wagon because that's the way it drove.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. And I think they replaced the transmission in that thing like 5 times because they just would not replace the truck.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It was terrible.
Terrible. But we used it.
Yep.
We used the hell out of it.
Yeah, we did.
So we had these 2 bars that were the known areas for gang members and shooting, stabbings, all sorts of dumb shit. Just people being dumb when they drink.
Yep.
So whatever reason, we were geeking out about that Narwhal song.
Oh, that's right.
Narwhals swimming in the ocean.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
And we
Yeah.
put that on our phone on the PA
Yep.
in the truck.
Yeah.
And we slow rolled by these bars as they were letting out
Yeah.
to like disrupt the
Because
tension.
Before
Because you would always have these people coming out like squaring off.
yeah,
with one
before
another.
as I say, before you get in it,
Yeah.
you got to understand that every weekend in the summertime, it was a given there was going to be fights.
Yep.
As soon as they let out. As soon as they let out. And so we were trying to figure out ways that because we're in the middle of them. We're as much as we're not trying to pepper spray people, we're not trying to hit people with batons, any of that stuff.
And on
So-
any given night, you had what, 4 of us?
Yeah.
At the most.
Maybe if you got lucky,
Yeah.
you get 2 extra bodies. But so you got these bike officers and we're just sitting on our bikes waiting. So we're trying to figure out outside the box methods to diffuse things before they got started. So we had this narwhal song.
The looks we got that night.
Oh, I know.
What the
So
fuck?
he's driving around in the truck and I pull it up on the phone and I hit it
Dying
on
laughing, man.
hit it on the loudspeaker and most of the time it's like you get on there, you're like disperse, stop, police stop, whatever, and people hear that out of your
I
truck.
usually get on it. I'm like, get the hell out of the road.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So we get on there playing the narwhal song and people just start laughing and
looking at us like we're
confused.
morons,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you know what they weren't doing?
Fighting.
They weren't fighting.
Yep.
So it was a
No
way.
fight calls that night.
Yeah, there were no fight calls that night. So we'd have a good time doing outside the box tactics, trying to,
Tactics. Yeah. Just
and it worked.
having fun with it.
Yeah. So for those out there that are like, police are just trying to mess people up and do all that stuff, listen, we're not. I don't want to do that extra stuff. And if I can figure out a way to diffuse things through humor, and it may not be funny to you, but you know what? If it drew confusion and it stopped you from being dumb while you've been drinking,
If you were beelining for some opposing gang member or
Yeah.
whatever, and all of a sudden you got distracted and now that person's gone. And
yeah, because we had shootings.
Yep.
We dealt with a lot of stuff.
And I don't know why, but Marcus almost always got him.
Yeah, every time.
The poor guy.
Yeah.
He came from the other bike unit.
Yeah.
Because he thought it'd be better.
Yep.
And as soon as he comes over,
Yep.
it's like, oh, you poor
Well, it's
dude.
what you get when you try to avoid the calls more often.
Oh,
Burn, Marcus.
poor guy.
I love
He's
Marcus.
such a good sport.
His lips. He's got guys. If you want to talk about Angelina,
They're up there with Witten.
Angelina Joe lips on a man. Marcus is that person. He's like LL Cool J,
It's weird.
but not as cool.
Remember going to the RNC? I videoed him eating
Yeah.
peach.
Oh, yes. And I was singing some In Sync or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We went to the Republican National Convention in 16
Yeah.
in Cleveland as a bike unit. And God, that was a great time. We had fun.
That was a trip, man.
It was a trip. God, there's a lot of fun that I can't talk about that we had, but as far as experience goes, it was
But
great.
as it relates to, I guess, to the show, talk about advantages of a bike unit, right?
Yeah.
That whole scene would not have gone as peacefully as it went if it weren't for the bikes. Because we had over 200 bike officers there. And the amount of mobility we had to get from one intersection to another where there were people trying to create chaos.
Yep.
It's just, we were there
So
every time. It created a perception of like there was 1,000 bike officers.
Yeah.
But at any given time, there's really only 50 of us rolling around.
yeah.
But we were leapfrogging areas that made it look like there were 1,000 of us. out
So I'm glad you brought that up because I want folks to understand if you are having trouble in your area, whether it be drugs or riots or whatever it is, one of the most underutilized units is your bike unit. And here's my argument to that. When you have a normal area where bike units work, everybody gets accustomed to there being bike officers in that area. And if you're lucky enough to not have bikes, listen up. When you start introducing bike officers in an area that aren't traditionally posted there, you will be able to catch a lot more crimes off guard than you ever would have prior to that. So if you can somehow get your bike or your patrol units to have bike racks on their patrol vehicles or whatever, so they can have the option to jump on a bike and start riding around in their beat, they can catch a lot more crimes than they ever would have caught prior to that. And it doesn't have to be a permanent fix for anything, because bad guys will get used to it.
Just another option.
It's just another option. If you give your officers the option to ride around on a bike in their beat, I'm telling you, you will significantly make a dent in the crime in that area, because no one sees the bike units coming. We had a guy almost basically try to deal to us one night. And when we rode into an area that doesn't typically have bikes, we had a slow night downtown, and I convinced him to ride to an old beat that I had, which was pretty close by. We've caught stolen cars. We've caught car burglars. We've caught dope dealers, all sorts of things, because people were not used to seeing. Yeah, I mean, literally, you're riding right in front of them in uniform on a bike, and they had no clue what they were looking at.
Yeah, it's not a consideration.
No.
They're just looking for a car.
Yeah, they're looking for a patrol car. So, officers, if you're listening to the show, think outside the box a little bit. You and a partner, or you and 4 people. I recommend 5, because you want one person in a car that can transport, and then you have your 4 buddies ride around on bikes in areas that are not used to seeing bikes, and just observe. I want you to, first 2 nights you do it, just observe. Don't even do anything really enforcement-wise. Observe, and then start hammering down, because nobody sees it coming.
I think the biggest demotivator or whatever to that idea for a lot of people is they view that as, I'm going to be riding all night.
Yeah. No.
Like on bikes downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we even if we stayed on the bike for 8 straight hours, we only rode maybe a total of 5 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're riding to one spot and stopping.
Chilling.
And
Yeah.
watching and talking to people. And then you're riding to the next stop and stopping.
Yeah.
Or answering a call, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not a ton of miles.
Yeah,
it's
we're
not a ton of
not.
riding.
We're not trying to tell you to go
Yeah.
out and kill mileage.
No.
Now, don't get it twisted, because we'd have training nights, and
Mm-hmm.
there's nights we'd work, an 8-10 hour shift and ride
Go
50,
ride the
60
trails.
miles. Yeah. So
You would ride 50 or 60 miles? Where was I? That's pretty far.
I don't know. You were
You're
just
a go-getter, man.
Yeah, I was trying to kill it.
Nice.
That's probably when you went to days and decided to be lazy. So, but anyway, okay, Joey. So back to you. Let's showcase you. So you joined the bike unit, and how long did you do on the bike unit?
5 years. Yeah.
5 years.
5, yeah.
Okay, so total, because it's still considered a patrol element. You're still taking calls, and it's not. I don't want people to get the wrong idea about bike patrol. You're basically a patrol officer, but you're on a bike. That's it. So you're taking calls, and it's in a certain area. So Joey's does bikes for 5. He does patrol for 1. So he's got about 6 years of patrol life going in. Now, where you worked in particular, the patrol life, or the calls downtown, they started hot, and then they started to slowly peter out, because you and I both saw the writing on the wall in bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was slowing down. I don't know what the deal was.
Well, and especially on evenings, because on evenings in the night, your call load is pretty much dependent on what bars are open.
Yeah.
Or in business still.
Mm-hmm.
And if that bar life is getting moved somewhere else, it's not even your side of town anymore.
Yep.
Then the call load starts to drop, and your calls just become other crap, like homeless, refusing to leave type calls.
Yeah.
The mundane. But then on day shift, it all kind of stayed the same, because day shift is what it is.
Yeah.
You got all your typical stuff going on throughout the day.
Accidents and
Tons of accidents.
calls for vagrancy or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and it had a bigger diversity of calls. So
Yep.
So you do that, and after 5 years, an NPO gig kicks up. So I've explained many times on the show what an NPO is, but
Yeah, I did in like the first or second episode. You and
Centeno.
you guys talked about an NPO role, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want to beat a dead horse or anything. We know what an NPO does, right? Neighborhood patrol officer.
They're the voice between
But
the community and the police.
Is Zentino an NPO? Or is he schools?
He's either NPO or schools. I don't.
You don't even know?
I don't know.
Holy shit.
I can't remember. Yeah. He's one of those.
All right.
Either way, it doesn't work.
Well, from the way you guys
Non-producing officer, NPO.
yeah, there it is. The way you guys talked about, described everything, I gathered he was a school officer.
I think he's a school officer.
Okay. So, yeah.
Sorry, I just wrote over my mic or my headphone cord, so I'm trying to get it
Party
out.
foul.
I know. There we go. Okay, now we're clear.
But yeah, the NPO program's been around for a minute.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been around for a
early
while.
90s.
Yeah.
And so you put in, because obviously your draw to police work was community service.
Mm-hmm.
Not that regular police aren't doing community service, but you need your people that are out there catching felons. You need your
Right.
people that are out there writing tickets. You need people out there that are doing all different aspects. You need your canine officers, you drug interdiction people. There's all these different aspects of police work, but in my opinion, and kind of the point of the show, is the most important, and that's the community, and keeping communication and relationships open with the community. And this is a new way to do that.
Yep.
And that was the focus for me, is I'm not an NPO, but I've applied and I didn't get it, but I never gave up on that dream, that image. And I want people to be able to understand all those facets, not just the guys like you. It's easy for the community to talk to guys like you. That's your job. Your job is to talk to them and to be their voice, and vice versa, be my voice to them, to tell them what's going on.
Right.
So this show, in my opinion, is a way to extend your voice, to not just show for you, an NPO, or not just show for a beat officer, but now we're talking SWAT guys, people they don't get to talk to, chiefs, prosecutors, FD, any of these people that they may want to talk to or understand more about. That's the point of the show. So you put in, you become an NPO, and you've been doing that for how long now?
Almost 3 years.
3 years, yeah. And across our paths, fortunately, Joey and I have worked on basically opposite sides of town since we were on bikes together, and haven't really been able to hang out like we used to. And if you don't know much about police work, military, FD, the good relationships, the good friendships that you make, it doesn't matter how much time's passed that you haven't seen each other. When you see each other, everything picks up right where it left off. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, it does.
So honestly, and this is straight up from me to you guys, Joey and I haven't seen each other in years, as far as like hanging out.
Other than like running into each other, and the occasional call when you were over there that time working on that.
Yeah,
Catalyst and
on
Rivergrass.
duty.
Yeah.
And that's limited, we can't do the normal BS shit that we do. So for us, the show, it's a way to reconnect and have fun, and I'm hoping this dumbass promotes so we can follow each other a little bit better.
It's in the, I hope to.
If he doesn't, eventually I'm gonna be his damn sergeant. So
you know how it goes, man. You got the little kids. You got your schedule now.
Yep.
You don't want to screw that
Yeah,
up.
works for the family.
If anybody listening that wants to do it, I don't care how into it you get. If you ever put this shit before your family, you're done.
Yeah, you're done. Your family.
That's when this job has ate you up to the degree it's gonna fuck you up.
Yep.
And don't ever. I mean, and it's easy to do. I've seen it. Like,
it's addicting.
What I mean by I've seen the draw to that.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I've had certain years where I was working, I was just like, I can see how this could start to overtake all aspects.
And my personality, I got an addictive personality. When I get into something,
well, it's the same with me. Yeah.
I'm like fully invested.
Yeah.
So like the position I'm in right now, I love it.
Right.
I absolutely love it.
You can go all the way with it.
And I could get crazy with it. And my team, and that's the other part, is my team, my guys are willing to flex their schedule however needed to do it. Luckily, in my years of experience, I've managed to recognize that about myself, and I've pulled my reins back on just me. I don't need to pull the reins back on my team because they'll do whatever. Yeah. But I've pulled the reins back on me, and I haven't allowed this job to eat me up to the point where it affects my family. So if you like
just to the point where you're doing a podcast.
Yeah, just to the point where I'm doing the podcast. Now, I will say my wife fully supports this. Yeah. She loves it. I've tried to get her to be on it. She's not to that point yet. I think she's waiting for her to graduate from nursing school.
Hey man, she's got her focuses right now.
Yeah. She's got her eye on the prize.
And that is badass, man.
Yeah, so I'd love to get her on here. I'd like to get Christina on. I want spouses on here. Yeah. I want people that are in the. You would never be where you're at without her.
Absolutely.
And I want that voice on here. I want people to understand. Anybody that's considering this career field, you need to hear the perspective of a spouse, whether it's like male or female, but you need to hear that perspective.
Especially those that didn't sign up for this shit.
Yeah.
Because Christina and I met working in a bike shop.
Yeah. You weren't even close to this world.
Schedule, right? 9 to 5, typical home, same time every night. Hey, honey, I want to be a cop. Like, what?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm with you. So I plan on having a whole spouses week or several episodes in a row where it's a spouse of a FD guy, a spouse of a military member, a spouse of a police officer, a spouse of medical, somewhere in there. I want a spouse of a teacher, all that stuff, because a teacher comes home at the end of the day, and a teacher is like, I've got Johnny Smith, who's obviously got some issues at home, and he's really bright, but this is the problems I'm having, and stuff like that. That eventually is going to be someone that you and I have to deal with. Mm-hmm. And to hear from a teacher's perspective on where some of the problems they see go wrong, of somebody that they know was going, because teachers have great insight. They're going to know the people that turn to crime eventually.
So my mom's a retired teacher. My dad's a retired cop.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to their venting, stories of work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And,
it's hand in hand.
Man, I don't know how my mom did it.
I've gotten a lot of flack from people that are like, I hear you want to bring up nurses, and they're like, okay, that's borderline, but teachers, and like, where does it stop? Where does that stop? And it's weird to me.
Public service.
Yeah. To me,
public service.
You are front line. Yeah. You are front line. Yeah. It's just like people that give shit to dispatchers, when they consider themselves first responders. Listen, if you've got to
first responders than you and I.
Yeah, if you've got to hear the shit that they've got to hear,
hell yeah.
Like I get it. They're not visually seeing it, but words make a difference. And if you're hearing somebody going through the worst part of their life, maybe the last moments of their life, if that doesn't affect you, then you're in the wrong position. You need to get out of that.
Anybody listening that wants a job, please apply to be a dispatcher.
Yes.
We need you.
We need dispatchers.
One of my HOA president ladies for one of my neighborhoods, who obviously I talk to a lot, right? She's the president of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I talk to her almost every day for my beat. Her daughter is applying to communications.
Oh, okay.
And asked if they could use me as a reference. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Put me down.
It's a terrible reference, but
terrible.
Please.
I said, you might want to look up this other guy.
Yeah. Give him my name.
She's probably not going to get it if they see my name, but
kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal.
What's the deal, pickle? So
dude, there it is.
Yeah. So Kraus is supposed to come on here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. He was supposed to come on about a week and a half ago, but he got the crud. So he's like,
Kraus got the crud?
Yeah, Kraus got the crud. So he's going to come on, and he had, at one time, he was command over communications, and everything was good for him. And then when he moved out, something degraded somewhere, and now he's coming back. So his perspective as a leader over that type of unit and understanding what 911 dispatch and all the ins and outs of them is that's gonna be good.
Oh man.
And I'm looking
forward to that.
I'm hoping he can get somebody from communications, like a senior person, because as well as I do, there are angels over the airwaves. Because if you get a solid 911 dispatcher and you're chasing after a bad guy and you don't know where the hell you're at, they figure it out for you.
When you were talking to Matt, I was hoping you guys were going to get into dispatch. And I don't think it came up.
It didn't.
Who was dispatching that night?
Yeah.
If it was just one person, did they bring in an assist to dispatch? Because sometimes if it's really hitting the fan, they'll bring in another,
Yeah, they bring in the expert.
The relief.
The pro.
Not necessarily that, but a relief.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To help fill the gap. So
Folks,
that's my understanding.
Yeah, for those that don't understand a really good dispatcher, you'll call out, let's say on traffic, hey, I'm pulling somebody over on Avenue M and K, and you pull this person over, and then I got one on the ground. Now, you start yelling out, I'm passing a yellow house by a McDonald's.
One on the ground means I'm chasing someone
Yeah, it
on
means
foot.
I'm chasing somebody on foot.
Yeah.
Now, a great dispatcher knows exactly where you're at, and they're keeping all the other patrol units that are coming to you because they know what they're doing, and they're like, okay, he's over on Avenue M and K, and he just said he's passing a McDonald's, so he has to be going eastbound. Because us as officers, as much as we want to keep track of where we're at, you can get turned around real quick, real fast, real easy, and things are dynamic. And that's not a knock on it. That doesn't mean you're a good officer or a bad officer. That happens. It's human. And a good dispatcher knows where the hell you're at, and it keeps everybody in check. I just jumped a fence. As long as you're keeping the dispatcher updated. All right, I just jumped a fence. I just passed a red house or whatever it is. They're going to be looking. They're going to be on Google Maps. They're going to be on all these different things, whatever it is, because they're going to try to keep track of you. So it's amazing what a really good dispatcher that really takes pride in their job can do versus those that are new or learning or any of that. You can tell the difference. So if you don't think it's important to keep people safe by having good dispatch, you're wrong. You need to pay them the money they deserve, and you need to take their position as serious as any first responder that you got out there.
I hear it happen often where it's a certain voice coming over the air, dispatching throughout the day, and then something happens. Then all of a sudden that dispatcher changes.
Yeah, the different voice.
Well, they bring in someone else.
Yeah.
Because that dispatcher who you were listening to all day is new.
Yep.
And the supervisor listening over everything knows, oh, shit, it's hitting the fan over there. Hey, so-and-so, take over for so-and-so.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
and
it's interesting.
If you're an officer sitting there and you've got this judgy mentality like, oh, they're just 911 dispatchers. You have never been in the shit. You've never had one that saved your ass, because I personally have, and I take it serious. I take it personal. I've had a dispatcher because I am terrible with directions.
Yeah.
And I know that about myself. And I was in a position, it was my fault. I didn't call out properly. I didn't give good description, but that dispatcher was able to call out, and I ended up catching a guy behind a shed from my 911 dispatcher, helping me get people to me who had a weapon. Now, nothing happened of it. Mm-hmm. It ended up being just one of those normal calls. You chase somebody. But who knows what would have happened had I not had somebody that was on top of their game.
Right.
And that opened my eyes a lot to dispatch. I hadn't considered it before as a law enforcement officer. But that happened in our side of town and over on the west side. And I'm glad I had it. And I think we call her Chatty Cathy, but I think that's who it was. So,
she's on top of it.
Yep. So I don't know if she's listening. I don't know if she's into the show or not, but even though it's a funny nickname to call somebody, we call some people Chatty when they get on the radio and they give a lot of detail on stuff. But listen, you do you. Do what you got to do.
As long as you're doing a good job.
As long as you're doing a good job.
Whatever.
I don't care. So anyway, Joe, so you get into bikes, you switch over to the NPO side of things, and you're starting to reach your calling a little bit more, I think, in my opinion, from what you've told me over the years of just knowing you and helping people, but also taking calls. I mean, I think that's always been the balance for you.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are going to be listening to this from, our department. They're going to be like, they don't want to answer calls. Like, I will say, my side of town, we answer calls.
Yeah.
And the patrol officers will vouch for that. Yeah. Like, yes, they do.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I
can't say that same thing for the other sides because I don't know. I haven't worked there. I just know that when the opportunity's there, that I have time, I'm answering calls.
Yeah.
I'm at least helping 63 so the other guy, which means assist, so the other guy can go to lunch or something like that.
Yeah.
But there are days where it may look like an NPO ain't doing shit, but that NPO's got his hands full. That day was yesterday for me.
Yeah.
Like I had these neighbors in my beat that just could not get along.
Yeah.
And
part of your job is mitigation.
Right. Well, they called 911 the day before. One of them did on the other. And this is an area where you don't get very many calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff has been pretty peaceful out there. It's, first world problems. We'll just
So
call it
you're
that.
saying it's a rich area?
Yeah, it's pretty well off. Yeah. So I saw that call, Holden. I took it. I advised on it, which means I told dispatch, don't send anybody with me. I kind of know what this is about because it's my neighborhood that I work. Just don't waste sending another officer out here. This is going to be, I'll handle it. So I learned the backstory there. One person wants to file a report on another person. Just, to kind of shorten this up a bit.
I got you.
And I'm going back to the sector with this report number in hand, with the information in hand. And I'm like, if I do this report, it's going to be the start of something, not the end of something. And if I do this report, it's going to be the start of more 911 calls.
Yeah.
When I'm not here, patrol's going to have to go answer it.
And they don't know the backstory.
They don't know the backstory. It takes 15 to 20 minutes to get to this neighborhood because it's so far out there. It's like, this is such crap. I contact, because as an NPO, you have a city cell phone, which everybody knows the number. All you got to do is look it up.
Yep.
Because on the site, you just punch in your address and you'll find your NPO with their number. So it's good and bad some days, as you can imagine. But I contact both parties individually, and I'm like, hey, are you willing to meet me tomorrow afternoon and talk to this other person face to face? And let's figure this out. I do that to each party. They're like, yeah.
Really?
I'm willing.
That's very rare, folks.
They go, I'm willing as long as you're there. All right. So this area has a little office, like a commons area, I guess you can call it, for their HOA. So we meet in there. And when I tell you, like, people from opposite ends of the spectrum, when it comes to views on the world,
politics, all this stuff. Yeah.
That's what I have in a room.
Okay. So you got California versus Texas. I got you.
And the problem revolves around a property line and, typical neighbor quarrel type stuff. But it's a little more deep-rooted than that, I felt, which is why I wanted to bring them together and at least talk to each other face-to-face, which is something, of course, they hadn't done.
Yeah.
In however many years or whatever they've been living behind each other. Their backyards, share a fence.
Yeah.
Anyways, it got a little at times like maybe this was a bad idea, because it was a venting session.
But sometimes it's good to get that out of your system.
And that's why I tried to not say too much at times, trying to be a good mediator, let people get stuff off their chest they needed to. But in the end, all to say, it was good.
Yeah.
Made a few jokes at the end, got them laughing, and we left, and everybody was seemingly happy.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
But as an NPO, in a nutshell, that's what we should really be doing.
That's the reward system.
That's
for you.
As a function, though, as an NPO, that's what an NPO should do.
Yeah.
Take that, because we're given the time and the resources to do that, to take that extra step. Whereas in normal patrol, you don't have that time and resources. You take the call, you get the report number, you file the report, it goes to the detective. What happens then? The detective investigates. He's going to question them both separately. He doesn't know the backstory. He doesn't work that neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's going to snowball. If he finds probable cause, he's going to put charges on this neighbor.
Yeah.
That ain't going to be the end of anything.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So
today's climate, nobody talks to each other.
Nobody talks to each other, man.
They depend on the
And in this particular situation, one person made an assumption about another person. And then that person made an assumption about that one.
Yeah.
And back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until it snowballed, until a 911 call.
They let it fester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so without that NPO role, we as police would not have the opportunity to do what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
And meet and just have a little conflict resolution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To avoid charges, to avoid actual police action.
Yeah. Like, I got no problem doing that report. It would have taken me 10 minutes.
Right.
Versus
a 2-hour
almost
conference.
a whole day yesterday devoted to this. You know what I mean? Like, it took a while because I had to show up a little early to let the HOA people know what I was doing there, because they needed to know. So, but hopefully taking those measures pays off.
Yeah.
And it was beneficial to all of us as a whole, police.
Yeah.
My first thought was, This is going to be the tip of the iceberg of 911 calls.
Yeah.
And I ain't here every day. And there should be one person answering this 911 call. When it comes to these two, it should be me because I know the backstory.
Yep.
I know how to handle it. Whereas if they send, new Joe Rookie out here
Who doesn't know?
who's ready to file reports and stuff like that and doesn't know the backstory, he's ready to file that report and do the plea, which isn't wrong. Right? So
there's always different ways, though.
yeah.
100 ways to skin a cat.
Exactly. And
Right,
why,
Schrader?
And that's why I love the NPO roles, because they give you that freedom
Yep.
to be creative. Like, my sergeant didn't even know anything about it till I did it.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, man, just to let you know, I had this meeting with these two. This is how it went. And I expect to be NPO of the year. No, I'm kidding. But this is the type of shit that we're doing every day.
Yeah.
Because this is my first time to do this meet face-to-face conflict resolution thing between two neighbors. And I was like kind of nervous about it. I had no idea how this was going to go.
But that's your fucking job.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking to other guys. Like, oh, yeah, I did one of those the other day. Oh, yeah, I did one of those last. Like, you did? You did?
And you don't hear about it.
Shit. All right.
Yeah.
Don't hear about it. They're putting out these little fires every day, all day.
Yep.
That keep stuff from
Escalating.
becoming
Actual,
bigger, more serious.
like
things.
actual charges.
Yeah.
And that's our job, folks. Our job is, it's not to rack up charges. And if you're in a department that they're trying to force that narrative of racking up charges, maybe you're in the wrong department.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in the business of just hemming people up. I'm in the business of helping people. And if helping people means mediating, that's what I'll do. If helping means going to mom's house to talk to son because she's a single mother and she has to work during the day and she can't keep track of her son who's out breaking into cars, because that my job is property crimes right now, then I'll go out and I'll try to have a heart-to-heart with them. Doesn't always work. I would say the majority of the time it doesn't work. But every once in a while I reach one person. And if I can reach one person, it's worth it. It's no different than this show. If I can reach one person in the, my wife won't agree with this, but in the $7,000 I've spent so far in this show, if I can reach one person to help them, you know what? Damn it, it's worth it. And I'm going to keep doing it until I'm either told to stop doing it or it just comes to a natural conclusion or whatever it is. I'm going to keep doing this. And just like you with being an NPO, you're going to keep doing that job until the satisfaction's gone or until your family needs meet something different and you need to promote or whatever it is. So, if you're in a department that's real small, I don't expect you to have an NPO. I expect your patrol officers, though, to be the NPO, which is kind of how...
That's usually how it works.
Yeah. Most departments are 10 people or smaller. It's about 82% of the nation. So if you're in one of those departments, learn how to do this mediation stuff. It makes a big difference. And typically, not always, but most of the time in these 82% departments, which 10 or smaller, you've got the time. Take your time on your calls, guys. Don't turn into a major metropolitan area where it's shag a call, write the report, send it off to the...
Stat driven.
Yeah, don't be stat driven. There are certain units that need to be stat driven, and I use that as a loose term. But I'm not a stat driven guy, but there are certain units that to justify their existence, they need to be that way. So property crimes being one of those. You need to be out catching burglars. You need to be out catching thieves. If you're not out doing that, then why do I need you? Just go back to patrol.
Right.
I don't need you. So it doesn't mean make up somebody as a thief and make up somebody as a burglar.
It's a very unique career, isn't it?
It is.
Because you have certain units within our PDs out there, like traffic. If they're not producing a certain amount of tickets, then they're not doing their job.
Right.
But let's for argument's sake, make that a smaller department with a smaller highway system. And they're doing their job, and they do it really well for a few months, and they're racking up all these tickets. But then all of a sudden their ticket production goes down, but their presence is still out there.
Yeah.
Is their production down because they're not doing their job? Or is their production down because they did do their job?
Yeah.
And it's the same with like an NPO gig or really any police work.
Mm-hmm.
That are, you got to look at that side. Is our neighborhood safe right now, and we haven't had any car burglaries, any home invasions, nothing in the past 6 months because we're just lucky? Or is it because we've been paying for this camera system and we've been paying extra to have police officers patrol our neighborhood at night?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because eventually that mindset will start to overtake of, well, we don't need them anymore.
Yep.
We haven't had a break-in in forever. Yep. So let's remove the police now. We don't need them anymore.
Folks,
now all of a sudden they're gone. If
you're out there in an area that is terrible or bad to you, it doesn't have to be terrible on a grand scheme of things, but if it's bad to you and your police or whatever the fix was, if all of a sudden things seem normal and you're like, you know what? If you're contemplating, we don't need this, we don't need that anymore, I would caution you to sit back and go, how did we get to this point? If it was because of what you're thinking about getting rid of,
right,
keep it.
Just look at other areas. For case studies. You know, that's why I'm trying to get the neighborhood. It's one of the neighbors. I have several. It's new and it's expanding. Yeah, and they're at that moment right now to set a reputation, right?
Yeah,
to criminals, to thieves, to car burglars, to catalytic convert,
Oh, buddy. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to get them to get the flock system out there.
Flock, baby.
And extra patrol and all that to get that in place now as they expand, because without it, it's going to become a haven. Yep. Because it's so far off the beaten path. Yep. It's such a long time to get a response.
Yep. I'm a big advocate of Flock. I'm actually in the works of trying to make them an official sponsor. I hope that works out. Even if it doesn't work out, listen, if your community has never considered Flock system, it's a camera system. It reads license plates. It checks out everything. Listen, I don't care if the bad guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't care, because it's that good and it prevents crime. I use it every single day, and I catch bad guys every single day. So if it is something that your community can afford or it needs to allocate the money towards, and you're having a problem area, I recommend Flock, because it's amazing. It is an amazing system, and I truly believe it is the next evolution to police work in lowering crime.
Construction site thefts are one of the hardest to bust. Yeah. Because the people stealing the materials, they appear, and in their cars appear to be just the worker. Yeah. So no one's the wiser during the day when they see someone take off with $5,000 worth of subfloor.
And they will steal stuff while the workers are out there.
And we caught a guy with the Flock system based off of the vehicle description. Yep. Not a license plate. Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm sorry. I guess I got a little wrapped up. If you guys knew how in-depth the system goes, I've had a Flock sergeant, somebody that's gotten Flock to a department that I'm used to. It's not just a license plate. It's a car description. It's a clothing description. It could be as much as a white male in red pants and a green shirt. And it could take with that Flock camera in the right area, as long as it's in the same area as one of those cameras, and it could take a crowd of people, and it can eliminate all the females, or at least what it believes to be females.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, man. I'm telling you. And it can wipe out anybody that's not wearing that description of a red shirt and green pants, or however I said it. And I'm talking days worth. So it is amazing. Amazing. And I am a huge fan of it, a huge believer in it, and I think it changes the dynamic of criminals all around. I think it will really lower stolen vehicle calls. I think it will really lower any sort of violent crimes as far as drive-bys and stuff like that, because if they know that there's cameras in all these normal areas for places to get drive-bys or stolen vehicles or whatever it is, they're not going to do it anymore. And that's why I said I don't care if they know about it.
And to let everyone know, the way these get set up is a department can purchase it and put those cameras where they want, or neighborhoods, apartment complex, whatever businesses can purchase their own Flock system and post those cameras where they want. So I'm trying to get my neighborhoods to buy in through their HOA dues, which is $2,500 a year.
Yeah. We're not talking about ridiculous amounts of money. We're not talking $10,000 for a camera or anything stupid like that.
Pays for the maintenance, the surveillance, everything.
Yeah. Right? We're not talking government prices like you've heard of in the past. This is like, if I could get it just on my own in my own neighborhood, I would get it. As a matter of fact, if Flock sponsors this show, I personally am going to try to get them to get in because I don't live in the city I work in. I'm going to try to get them to get one out here outside my home just so I can keep preaching their praises and show how much it helps. And I'm not in an area that's going to get a lot of crime, but I've had people try to break into my cars and my driveways and stuff. So just that alone, if it makes the department that I live in wake up a little bit and adopt that, I think it's worth it because I've seen the proofs in the pudding. Oh yeah. Those Flock cameras are amazing. People look into Flock, get into them. Like I said, I don't care if they sponsor me or not. They have what I consider one of the next evolutions to police work in their arsenal. And it's getting better. I mean, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. It's not perfect. And as long as the policies are in place, it's not going to infringe on people's personal rights. And I believe in that too. Yeah. I'm still a military member at heart. I'm not trying to violate the Constitution. So I don't believe in them looking in your backyards, looking through your windows or anything like that. It needs to be for criminal investigations only. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So
and that's all I have to say.
That's all I got to say about that. But all right, Joey. So now you are an NPO. You've been a police officer 8 years plus. And what's your vibe now with the communities, the environment for police? I mean, it's obviously not exactly the most pro-police environment we've ever heard of.
Yeah, I mean, super lucky to work where I work.
Because we don't feel it.
We don't feel it.
I try to tell people that.
When I helped open the bike shop, I didn't feel the recession.
Yeah.
I mean, we were recession proof.
Mm-hmm.
And where I work now with this national vibe, so they say, or whatever, against, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it.
Yep.
I mean, just like anywhere. I mean, you and I been called racist and all this other bullshit? And of course. I mean, just because we're wearing a fucking uniform, right?
Yeah, I haven't because I'm better than you, but true. I'm sure you have.
But even working where we work, the fact that we're wearing a uniform, we're going to be assumptions are going to be made, and people are going to give us the look. Yeah. But good God, man, the vast majority love us. Yeah. And that is why our city is unique to others, even in our own state, that it's because of that community. Yep. And I'm so keep it going, people, please. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Don't let that tide change.
If you are, and this is my personal advice to any city that is got kind of an anti-police vibe. Listen, I feel you. Came from Flint. I didn't grow up with the most respect for police. Mm-hmm. However, now that I know what I know, and now that I've lived where I lived, try to support your guys. Try to support try to support your police, male, female, whatever it is, and see where it gets you. Because my opinion, the anti-police stuff isn't going to get you anywhere productive. To defund any of that, it's not going to get you anywhere. Instead, let's reverse that. Let's go the opposite of your instinct. Let's go overfund. Mm-hmm. I would rather you overfund and realize, all right, we're paying these douchebags too much. They're doing their job. They're doing what they're supposed to do, whatever it is. But I would rather you go that route and cut back than try to tug on the leash too soon. That's just my opinion. And it doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. I'm obviously biased. I'm going to fully put that out there. I'm a cop. I'm going to be biased. Whether I think I am or I ain't, I'm going to be biased because I love what I do. I'm emotionally invested in what I do. And I'm an optimist. So I'm always looking at the best side. And that's a fault of mine. And I realize that because I will overshadow things that are negative because I'm trying to look at the positive. And I get that about myself, and I try to be real because I realize where I came from, and I know how bad it was in the area I grew up in. But looking at that area now, I think it's getting better. Flint is growing, and Detroit is growing, and they're getting past theirs. And now I work in a place where it's like it's the total opposite. everything is great. It really is great when you have a city that supports what you do and wants you to succeed and holds those bad cops accountable. And as long as you and I have been on the department, correct me if I'm wrong, we've had somebody arrested or fired every year that we've been on.
Yeah, seems like it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that is like a dig on where we're at, but I'm actually proud of that because we're
accountable.
We're accountable.
Absolutely.
And in a department where you've got it good, officers like you and I want to hold anybody that tries to fuck that up accountable.
Yep. Nobody hates a bad cop worse than a good cop. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's been said on here before.
Oh, yeah.
And now the part that I want other people to understand too is like, there's going to be people that see my show, see this, and they'll be like, he's swearing. He needs to, like, that guy shouldn't be a cop. Like, come on, folks. Listen.
Yeah.
Hold me accountable for the stuff that matters. I get that, and I agree with that. You should constantly be putting cops in check, but don't dig. Don't dig. We're not going to, in the environment we're at, we need as many good people as we can get to do this job. And if you dig too hard and go too hard in the paint on cops, your only product you're going to get are those that are desperate for a job, and that work product is going to be bad.
Yep.
You agree?
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that. Right or wrong, it's just my opinion. It has nothing to do with where I'm from, where I work. I'm sorry, it is exactly where I'm from, but it has nothing to do with where I'm employed. So it's my personal opinion. But all right, Joe, what else you got down the? We've pretty much gone through your career, as short-lived as that is. And what I see your shirt, Trinity Racing. What's Trinity Racing?
That's my bike racing team.
Okay, so you got a team.
Hell yeah.
All right, does that consist of just cops? No.
Marcus is on it.
Oh,
but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah, well, I meant actual cops.
No, these are Fort Worthians.
Okay. So it's all
You
people
like that?
from Fort Worth?
Not all people. We got members from Keller and Flower Mound, Mansfield.
Okay.
Just throughout the DFW area.
And are we talking Cat 1 guys, all of them? Or
Yeah, we got some top tier and we got beginner. So the whole idea behind the team is, if you're just getting into it, but you're serious about it, we're all about it.
Cool.
We'll show you the ropes,
Gotcha. Got you some team rides going
coming
on.
to our rides and then, take you under our wing kind of thing and help train you up.
Okay.
Kind of thing. But this started last year. Actually, this is our first full year for Trinity Racing.
Okay.
Right. Created it as a Texas nonprofit. So we're actually on paper corporation, I guess you can say. But yeah, it's a legit team.
Yeah.
We got about 40 members.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So it's another good way to connect, right?
Yeah.
To the community.
Yeah.
Through riding, and they all know what I do.
Yeah. So it's kind of a police community relations type team.
Yeah. I didn't start it as that. Started it just to encourage people to race and ride. Like there's a few of us that help run the ship.
Yep.
I guess you could say, and seeking out sponsors and that sort of thing. But the whole grand idea, one of my ideas is to start a youth bike donation program.
Okay.
That runs through Trinity. So an idea I had when I was working on the bike patrol long before this.
I remember you talking about
trying to create some sort of, that was a bike build type program. I actually talked to Betsy about it.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. A lot of working parts to that. I mean, that's a big thing to bite off on.
Yeah.
You got to think about your liabilities. And if you're doing it for the department, there's a lot of red tape there.
Yeah.
Get past city legal and all that BS.
I hear you.
So then this opportunity came along. I was like, well, I can do it outside of the department, but everyone knows I'm, work for the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas, so it's kind of an indirect thing where I'm still, plugging myself in. But the whole goal there is to seek out those kiddos. I'm talking 10, 12 years old.
It's my
dog's
dog.
pissed.
Yeah.
That are interested in the sport, but have no other means to get into it.
Yeah.
Right. So we get them the bike through either a donation of that bike company or donated funds or whatever, in kits, the clothing, that kind of thing. And then show them not only that, but then invite them to the rides and show them the ropes through clinics and stuff like that. So, because I know when I first started, not that I was like, didn't have the means but I had no idea how to get into racing.
Yeah.
The information just wasn't there. So if you're not part of that community already, or you're interested in it, whether that's mountain biking, BMX, freestyle, whatever, you have no clue how to access that community.
Yeah.
So to be that bridge is the goal.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of working parts there. What I'm working on right now is an application of sorts to give to other charitable organizations like LVT Rise or churches and stuff like that, to give to parents. And if that parent has a kid that they think's down, they complete it, give it back to us.
Okay.
We get the applications, we read them over, we reach out to them.
Very cool.
That kind of thing.
Nice.
So
okay. So you're the head of that?
Yeah, there's a couple other members. Marcus helps with things. There's
the social media side.
Yeah. Well, we have several of us that have admin to our Instagram, Trinity Racing, and Facebook, and they all help with that. I'm the worst at it, so I don't.
I gotcha.
I'm a horrible social media guy.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But a dude here in Arlington named Keith Bartholomew, he's our brains. He's a software engineer, and he's super smart guy.
Is he interested?
He can whip up the Excel spreadsheets in like 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
is he interested in being on here?
Keith?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Find out.
All right.
I mean, Marcus too. I would be cool to have Marcus on here.
All right.
I would want to show people how you don't want to be a cop.
Right.
So
exactly. Yeah.
Get him on here for sure.
Poor bastard.
He's not on here to defend himself. Poor
guy.
Lips. Anyway.
Fuck him, man. He's in like vacating up in Utah right now.
Is he?
Yes.
Look at him.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Living the dream.
Well, all right, brother. We are at the 3-hour mark.
Holy shit. I'm sorry, y'all.
I told you it goes by.
You sat through all this? Man, I'm sorry.
I told you it goes by quick, right?
Yeah, it does.
So
my parents are like, where the hell
what do you got coming down the pipe? Is there anything the people need to know immediately? Any racing stuff? Any community service stuff? Anything like that?
No,
nothing. All right, cool.
I tell you what, if you're in the Fort Worth area, you ride the Trinity Trails a lot. You're looking for groups to ride with, reach out to me.
Okay.
Because we're here.
How can they reach you?
We're a growing group, Trinity Cycling, Trinity Racing.
Okay.
You can reach Trinity Racing on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. You'll be able to find it on our Facebook site, at least at the minimum. After we get off this, I'm going to have Joey tag at least most of my social media. So I'll
put the car show link on there
too.
And
Sergeant Alex Viola's.
Absolutely.
Does he prefer viola or viola? Viola. Okay. I can't help
it.
Saldivar.
There you go.
Yeah. Guys, if the guitar solo is Saldivar.
Yeah.
Saldivar. Vincent Saldivar. Vincent fucking Saldivar. Okay, I got it now. Saldivar. I'm going to write it on my board phonetically. He is the one that has made our opening song. And then I still have my playful.
Do you know the band he plays in?
I don't.
Called Squeeze Box Bandits.
Squeeze Box Bandits.
They play in West 7th all the time.
No shit.
Yes.
This gives you
Mr. Modest, man.
Gives you a little bit of character check on this guy. He is very, very closeted about his skill set. So.
Very modest. Like, oh yeah, I play guitar. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, how long have you played? Oh, my whole life.
Yeah. What
can you play? Anything you want.
Since I can remember things.
Yeah.
How long have you been able to remember things? Since I was 3.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's amazing. So, all right, buddy. Well, we will close it out.
Boom.
Here, and I appreciate you
Thanks
being
for
here.
having me, brother.
Dude, it was a good show. I like it.
All right. My parents are gonna be